What's black and blue and dead all over?
My career.
You. If you listen to Passive Pixels consistently, fun fact. Hi, hello, I'm Dorian. Welcome to a very special episode of Passive Pixels. Yes, I'm going to be your host today. God help us all. I'm joined by two of the most special people you could imagine for this special episode that's all about the Batman. On my left, we have the president and CEO of Passive Pixels himself, Edwin. Edwin, how you doing?
You see, those are just lies. We all know that Janet Jr. is the actual true power. I'm more of like the COO, but really I'm just in a puppet position. I'm fine. I'm fine. I woke up really late. Elden Ring has been ruining my life and my sleep schedule. And if I end up divorced by the end of it, I'm going to blame Miyazaki.
God bless you, Miyazaki. Ruining gamers' life one day at a time. Truly the most deserved punishment for gamers, don't you think?
I'm telling you right now that whenever China called other games digital opiates, he called it a little too early.
All right. And then on my right side here, I have the winner. This is such a special honor. The winner of the Nicest Man on the Internet award for 10 years running. And he's been on our show a couple times in segments, but he's here in person. It's Sean Mason. Sean, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for the kind words. That really means a lot. But yeah, I'm doing wonderful. I had a pretty nice morning. Got my 20-mile run in. The Boston Marathon's just about a month away. So I'm ready to go. Ready to talk about the Batman. I cannot wait.
I don't think I've ran 20 miles in the last 20 years. I'm so impressed right now. That's incredible.
I've probably driven less than 20 miles in the last 2 years. Thanks, COVID.
Oh, great. All right. So let's get right into it. Before we get into, so obviously this is going to be spoilers, tons of spoilers, but before we dive right into spoilers, I just thought I'd go around and kind of let everyone give their impressions, just generally, if they liked the movie, what they thought of the movie, without completely diving into spoilers, and then we'll go right in. So if one of you guys want to go ahead and jump in and give me your thoughts on the Batman overall.
I thought it was outstanding. Honestly, I've been waiting for since basically the Dark Knight. I enjoyed the Dark Knight Rises, but it was definitely of the Nolan trilogy the weakest. So I've been waiting for a Batman movie for now 13, 14 years now since the Dark Knight came out. I think it was 2008, and absolutely blown away. Loved every minute of it. Seen it twice now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've seen it, I think, 3 times myself now, and I'm going a fourth tomorrow. So that should be interesting. I love how you just said you mentioned the Dark Knight Rises too, and you completely skipped over the Zack Snyder shit, which props for that. I
That
completely
exists.
agree. Yeah, it does not exist. Edwin, what were your thoughts?
Ooh, all right. Watching this movie, very often I'd go, yeah, you know what? I'm feeling this. Nothing about it was ever bad. The only thing I can think of was that it's a weird thing where with this movie, I felt like the pacing is immaculate. This movie is 3 hours, but by the time I walked out, I was like, yeah, that was like a solid 2:15. But my wife, being the person who has to look up every runtime before she walks in, but at least hiding the phone, she has the nice, courteous nature to not let me know what the runtime is. And she's like, no, that was 3 hours. Like, oh, huh. So it's very weird because I felt myself being bored in small parts of the movie, but then almost immediately, like if Reeves knew what he was doing, he would put something that was so awesome immediately after the boring piece that it would be one of the most quintessential Batman stuff I've ever seen put to screen that I'm just like, oh, you won me over. Great job. Over the years, I feel like I've gotten a little bit colder on the Nolan trilogy, so I can't really speak to how I feel about this one compared to the others. The only thing is that since at least Rises got brought up, I've seen Rises recently enough to be like, yeah, this movie is objectively better than The Dark Knight Rises. The problem is that I can't really rank The Dark Knight Rises because I just see it as a meme more than anything else now. So I don't see that as a movie. I just see that as a way for me to do my Bane impression for 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, yeah, the Batman, good, not a meme like Bane, but still, the fire rises, brother.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. There's a new special edition Dark Knight Rises steelbook coming out, a bunch of them actually, and they just used the meme picture from the Dark Knight Rises, and I love it
Oh
so much. They
my
totally
gosh.
just tapped right into that picture, and I'm like,
Oh, I
yeah,
love it.
good on it, guys. That's exactly what you should do. Yeah, I basically kind of echo a little bit of both your thoughts. The movie's fantastic. I'm a big fan of it. Obviously, I'm a Batman homer, so anything Batman related is going to be an instant win for me, as long as it's done well and not, Zack Schneider.
That didn't
Yeah,
happen.
it's just stellar though. Like they do such a good job at bringing you into this universe. I love that it's not an origin story. They're telling their own story a couple years in, and they do a really great job with things. So overall, I'm very positive too. So it sounds like we're all really overall positive with the movie, and that's great. So I guess we're gonna just dive right into spoilers now. So you have all been warned. I will do a countdown, and then we'll go from there. So 3, 2, 1. Barry Keegan is the Joker. Fucking kill me. Okay, so
Yeah, that was. Let's go right into that. Of course. You see, the Passive Pixels Discord that we've talked about somewhat briefly, I expanded it. I added more stuff to it, and we had a spoiler channel there for the Batman. And let me tell you, all of us, a whole bunch of people who were in that thread, had watched it on Tuesday before the Friday that the movie was supposed to come out. And anytime that someone would come out of the theater, send a message, they'd be like, oh no, Dorian's life is forfeited as soon as he gets to that ending. Like, as soon as he gets to that ending, the movie's ruined. Batman is ruined. His entire identity, gone. DC, dead to him. And you know what? I might as well get into that section as well. Yeah. No. No. God, no, no, no. Please, no. That I was in the theater thinking that was Two-Face because of the bad camera angle. I saw scarring and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's Two-Face. And then, even though they had an extended laugh sequence, that still wasn't enough for my brain to register, oh, yeah, that's the Joker. The laugh is so weak that I thought it could still be Two-Face. So, yeah, embarrassing. I kind of hope that, well, I mean, the rumor, or I don't even know if it's substantiated by the director himself, but that the Joker is not going to be the main focus. He's just going to be hanging around, and God, do I hope that's true, because I don't want to see the Joker for a good half a decade, maybe 6, 7 years if we can push it. I don't want to see this, and Barry Keoghan is not doing anything to help that.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a big Barry Keegan fan, obviously. That aside, I really
Lightly.
do think, yeah. That aside, if I have, I don't have a lot of big complaints with the movie, but that would be one of them. That whole sequence to me was just not needed. I mean, you could have put it as like an after the credits stinger, and I guess it would have fit better there, but I still don't think it was needed in the movie at all. Uh, Sean, why don't you give us a little bit of positivity though, or maybe not if you didn't? But what did you think of Barry Keegan as the Joker and that whole little stinger at the end?
So I'm not that familiar with Barry Keoghan as an actor, but I didn't even know that was him until I left the theater and I started doing a little bit of research, and I was thinking to myself, I'm like, in his limited run there, his limited role there is our 5 minutes we get to see him, not even 5 minutes. I'm really kind of baffled by why they would include that. That was the one scene where I was like, I don't think this was needed. Um, but I'm not gonna judge, how he would portray the Joker until we actually see like him on camera and acting out scenes, and we get more what it would be like for him to actually be the Joker. But with that said, it would not shock me in that if they did do a recasting based on audience perception. I have not really seen any positive perception about him as the Joker. So who knows what we'll see? But like I said, it would not shock me if we see a recasting. And Ed, I had seen those rumors as well about how their Joker might not be the main focus. Um, from my understanding, those are all like Twitter rumors, people tweeting about who they think the main villains are going to be. I heard like one rumor about Mr. Freeze, but like
Yes.
I have no idea where that's coming from. I would love to see Mr. Freeze because
Yeah.
aside from the Riddler's my favorite Batman villain. Um,
Oh, you were eating good here, weren't you?
yeah. Oh my god, it was insane. Like I couldn't even believe it. Perfectly portrayed, the perfect amount of just insanity combined with this prestige acting. He really captured the character, and I absolutely love that. But going back to Mr. Freeze, I would love a Mr. Freeze because he's my second favorite Batman villain, and he's often not portray. I mean, we've only seen him, once. That was, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dude, that's not
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
does not count.
This was the first time we've seen the Riddler ever, too.
Oh, Jim Carrey's Riddler.
Everybody chill. Okay, just chill.
Yeah, with all the
dinosaurs? Yes,
yeah. I've seen that movie way too many times, especially as a kid. It seemed to be on all the time when I was sick, and I would just happen to watch it. But
when it rains and pours.
yeah.
I think that's
Go
what was making you sick, Sean.
Probably was, yeah. That and I would watch Clue, the 1985 film.
Oh, Clue's
Okay,
fine.
Clue's better.
That's
I like
okay.
Clue.
Yeah.
But going back to just the Joker's performance, I just would like to wait and see on if he ends up getting cast as the Joker. I would wait and see till he's actually on screen.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And to be fair, like they never say he's the Joker. I mean, that's obviously what they're intending, but they don't say it. So if they wanted to go in a different direction, they easily could. So I don't think they're locked into that. But I mean, I guess we'll see. Well,
I'm sorry. I just love the idea that they saw somehow one of the producers got confused too. It's like, I thought that was Two-Face, and then Matt Reeves is like, perfect. That's the exact out I need.
exactly. No, I agree. And hey, I think honestly, I think he could do a better Two-Face than Joker. Two-Face is an easier character to pull off, but I mean, we'll see at the end of the day. So you kind of mentioned it for a second, Sean. Okay, so we started at the end. Let's roll all the way back to the beginning. Let's talk about Paul Dano and the Riddler, and specifically kind of how hot, in my opinion, this movie opens. Ed, do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay, you actually like the opening. I kind of was losing my patience a little bit. I was like, okay, yeah, we're doing the voyeuristic look into a building. That's creepy. That's different. I'm feeling this. And then it just kind of felt a little muddied at some point when I saw the kid with the sword, and I was like, okay, I know this isn't real, but it, ninjas and Batman have a bit of a history. So I'm looking at this little kid with a sword, and I'm like, is this the League of Shadows? Are we actually pulling up League of Shadows in like the first 2 minutes? What's going on here? And then eventually you realize, oh, it's just playtime. And I kind of lost my patience really quickly. I was like, this movie's 3 hours. Why are we spending so much time on this voyeuristic? It isn't until we get into the apartment that David Fincher's lawyers are right on the phone, like just ready for the moment of like, just step on the line, bitch. See what happens. See what happens. And then eventually the Riddler shows up and just he Tusken Raiders that man. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I like this. This is different. I'm feeling this. So I think I don't like the execution of that more than I do the idea. I like the idea. It's just that sitting there, like I'm like, this is 3 hours. Can we kind of hurry this up a little?
I love the opening. I thought the opening was awesome. I liked how it didn't show you Batman for basically the first, 15, 20 minutes of the movie. It kind of just goes through Gotham. Like you, Ed, I was thinking, is this the League of Shadows? Are they really doing this? They're gonna have the Riddler and the League of Shadows in this, but then you realize it's, just playing around. One thing I thought was awesome was
Oh, it's
how they
voyeuristic.
shot the perspective of the Riddler from like his almost like his goggles. You could see it was almost like it was a camera. He was just sitting there watching. Gave me such a creepy vibe. I felt like the right up my spine, the chills on my spine. I'm like, oh my god, this is so creepy. But I did like the opening, how it shows how much it just shows how much fear it puts in criminals. It was awesome.
Yeah, so the opening to me, I thought it was really hot for a couple of reasons. First of all, Ave Maria is in the song a couple of times, and I fucking adore this song. That's actually one of my favorite songs of all time. And if you've played the Hitman games, you'd recognize it from that too. But the fact that they're kind of playing off that a little bit, and you've got this really just creepy guy kind of peeking in, it does go a little bit long, but the second they get inside like the room, and you just kind of get that, it's almost a horror shot of him just kind of standing there in the background in the dark, and you kind of get a quick flash of him, and it's like, oh, okay, you're one creepy motherfucker.
To
And it
add
kind
to
of,
the horror aspect, my wife is very easily frightened, and seeing Paul Dano in the back did have my arm get grabbed a little
yeah.
tighter than usual. So yeah,
Yeah, they definitely nailed like some horror aspect to that. And it kind of just go like that whole opening bit, so that, and then you kind of get the bit after with, obviously you get your introduction to the Batman, which we'll talk about in a second. But that whole opening just kind of goes, it did a good job of showing how shitty this rendition of Gotham is. This is
Yep.
just a complete dump this Gotham, and it might be my favorite portrayal of Gotham we've seen on screen.
Now, there's just one thing I do want to mention. My YouTube intake, not too much anymore. Usually it's whenever I'm having dinner or something. I was scrolling through, I think it was either Cosmonaut Picture Show or it was Shea Frillis Productions, one of those videos. They were reviewing the Batman and they had said something, and I was like, oh shit, I kind of agree with that, which is that they said that this Gotham sucks so bad that they buy almost immediately. Yeah, Batman's pretty much the only way to clean this up.
Yeah, I totally agree that
Yeah, like
this rendition of Gotham was like so it looked dirty. There's criminals everywhere. Like usually Gotham, they portray it as like a poor city. Like I know we don't want to bring up the Batman vs Superman, but in that Lawrence Fishburne's character says like, oh, crime in Gotham. In other news, water is wet. He says something like along those lines. But yeah, this portrayal of Gotham was just so like, why would you even want to live there? Why would you even choose to raise a family
Wait,
there?
okay, hold on. I gotta roll it back. Which Batman movie was Lawrence Fishburne in?
He was in Batman vs
yeah, isn't
Superman,
he?
and he was in Justice
Yeah,
League.
Oh
he's in
my
those movies.
god!
Yeah,
No,
he
no,
Yeah,
plays what, the editor for the
yeah, for the Daily
yeah,
n-
Planet.
Daily Planet. Yeah,
I remembered
Yeah,
that. It's just that I don't think about Batman v Superman.
yeah,
Wait,
me too.
Sean, you specifically said Batman v Superman. I thought you meant that you were comparing Superman to Batman. You see, that's how much I've kind of pigeonholed myself out of never thinking about that movie again. Sorry, continue.
but yeah, like, why would anyone want to live in this city? The way they portray it, just like this crime on every corner. It looked like I said, it looked dark and gritty and dirty, and yeah, it's just I don't know. This is definitely the best rendition of Gotham and the most authentic compared to what we see in like the comics, especially the current comics.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I do want to continue the comparison just because it wasn't something until I realized this until you guys were talking, which is that in Batman Begins, all of Gotham should probably be the Narrows. And that was probably something that the Batman was like, yeah, we're just going to do that instead.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's 100% it. Look, I think The Dark Knight's a masterpiece. It's my favorite movie of all time. I'm completely biased with that movie. I don't know if anything will ever top it. All that being said, that is definitely a cleaner version of Gotham than anything I've ever seen before. It's not really, when you think of Gotham, that's not exactly what you would think of. And they kind of changed that a bit from where Batman Begins was even. But this in the Batman is easily the dirtiest, grimiest, just disgusting Gotham you've ever seen. And it's allowed people like the Riddler, who we see in this movie who's the main villain and is in it for quite a bit, just to run rampant in it. But yeah, so going back to the Riddler, like, what did you guys overall think of Paul Dano's performance then? You touched on it a little bit, Sean. You're a big Riddler fan, so I assume you love this. If this was everything you wanted from a psychotic, deranged Riddler.
Definitely, he played the part so well. Just the riddles he leaves, the way he leaves them, the cryptic messages. I thought that the taping of all his victims was so creepy and so right up the Riddler's alley. And he's such a narcissist. Like, he has no remorse. He doesn't care. It's just, he has his mission, and that was his mission, and he just would do it at all cost. Just jumping towards the end when he realizes that Batman still like didn't understand the whole plan. He seems to be, for the most part, in the comics, he's anytime there's like an arc with the Riddler, he's usually one step ahead of Batman, and in this movie, he was always one step ahead of him, and it was great. And I just think that the way they wrote the character was true to the character, and I thought Paul Dano just really, really got into the role, and I believed you could totally believe watching that Paul Dano was a narcissist.
Yeah, I completely agree with all of that. I think, like you said, near the end of the movie, when he kind of that's such a good twist in the movie when he gets his plan, he's like, "Oh, you still haven't figured this out? Like, you're a fucking idiot, Batman. I'm sorry, you're not as good as I thought you were." And the Batman finally does kind of go back and figure it out, but it's too late. I always do like that. It almost reminded me of Watchmen a little bit, where you get that famous line. It's like, "Oh, it's too late. I did this 35 minutes ago," and then the octopuses start falling from the sky, or giant squids or whatever the fuck they are. it's very similar to that in the Batman. So I thought that was pretty cool. Ed, what did you think of Mr. Paul Dano? We've obviously seen him in some shit. Obviously, his turn in There Will Be Blood, a little bit different kind of role here.
Paul Dano didn't get beaten to a pulp, so 0 out of 10, garbage movie. Man should just cancel his career. We don't need this anymore. How do you not have the one hallmark to every Paul Dano character, which is getting beaten to a pulp when you have fucking Batman in your movie? No, okay, not memeing. He was very good, although I feel like the wheels started falling off like around the end. Anytime that he was through a screen, through a phone call, in the bag, I was like, oh, all this is great. Once he got into the diner, I was like, okay, I'm still feeling this. He looks like a really meek dude. This is all right. His outbursts, I felt, were right on camera. Well, I mean, whenever they're looking at his outburst through a phone or listening to it or on the news, all this is like, yeah, this fits perfectly. Also, just one thing that I want to bitch about, the diner scene and the fact that they still kept the question mark in the cup, I think may be the worst moment in the movie. I think I hate the question mark in the cup still being in the movie over the Joker scene. And I think it's because that's just such a trailer shot that it's like, what does that serve the audience at all? Like the cup is flirting on the line of "My name is Khan" from Star Trek Into Darkness, where the question mark is literally just for the audience, and it makes no sense in the world. I don't think wait. Okay, did they call him the Riddler at all in this movie, or no?
No, I don't
I,
think.
I
No,
thought
they
I thought
didn't.
they did. Isn't or maybe they don't. I thought Gordon might have had a line where where he refers to him as a Riddler or something like that, but maybe not. I could be wrong.
If the answer isn't a resounding yes, why is he making a question mark in his coffee? Why did he ask that woman for a question mark in the coffee? I don't know. It bothers me so much, and moving on. I'm just gonna leave it there. The ending sequence with him where he's just in the interrogation scene and he's just like, "Oh, how are you, Batman? How's it going?" I didn't like it because he sounded way too much of like the kind grandma that doesn't know how to talk to their grandkids, and less like I needed him being cocky in there. Like I needed him a lot closer to what I mean, literally the only touchstone that I have is Riddler in the Arkham games. Like that Riddler to me just makes so much sense to me. Where he's just like, "Ah, Batman, I am cocky as hell. You're supposed to be as smart as I am, but you're going to fail every single time you try to be as smart as me." And I wanted a bit more of that, where the Riddler knows that he is really smart and that he's going to flaunt it, even while Batman is just what, maybe 2 inches of glass away from him. Now, I do want to spin this into a different direction really quickly, which is I am still just I think at this point it's probably copium for me in thinking that the Riddler knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman, but I am going to copium because that makes that scene better for me. If for some reason the Riddler is smart enough to figure that out, so then that means that even though he's sounding like an elderly grandma that's probably going to keel over at any moment, at least that would give me some of that intelligence that I like.
Yeah, I think that's a healthy dose of copium because I don't think he does, but that's fair. I will ask you this though, Ed. Do you not give okay? So remember, Batman's already been in the city for 2 years, so this isn't an
Yes.
origin story for him. Keep in mind though, this is an origin story for the Riddler. So
Mhm.
that last scene for me with that context works a little bit better. I feel like because again, this is just the Riddler's beginnings. This is his origin story in general. I don't know, like he's still a simp for Batman up until the very end of that scene. Because basically, this entire movie, he's been giving Batman these cards, and he's deluded enough to think that they're working together. And then in that short moment, it finally clicks when Batman basically says, "No, you're disgusting. I hate you." He's like, "Oh, fuck, we're not together." And then he kind of goes all unhinged and starts to realize. So, in that context, does that not work a little bit better for you?
Uh, I mean, it explains it, but the thing is that even if the Riddler were a simp for Batman, we know how people online are. They're like, "Oh, I'm a simp for someone. I'm going to dig really deep and try to find info off of them." And And that you see, the problem is that now you gave me more ammo to copium, where it's like, oh, you're obsessed with the Batman. Well, maybe you somehow figured out who the Batman was.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. All right. Did you have any other final comments on the Riddler, Sean? Or I think we can. If you don't, we're gonna move on.
Just one thing. Going back to what Ed said about, yeah, that is one thing that I did not like. I wish that they had the Riddler know that Batman was Bruce Wayne. Just how smart he appeared to be and him being always one step ahead of Batman. I wish that. I understand why they didn't do it, like you were saying, that it is like an origin story for the Riddler, so he is still like in love with Batman, still thinking, he's still deranged enough to think that him and Batman are working together. But I do side with Ed there. I do wish they had him figure out that Batman was Bruce Wayne.
And I'm of two minds. I think that would have been really cool because the Riddler is supposed to be smarter than Batman, but I also kind of hate the trope where everyone starts to figure out the hero's identity. So if it was just Riddler, I would have been cool with it, but then I also would have been worried, oh man, who else is going to figure out his identity? So um,
I,
who
I
knows
think
though?
Riddler can get away with it though, because like
Yeah,
Riddler
Riddler
would
could.
be. So of course we have the Joker, where if the Joker figured it out that it was Bruce Wayne, he'd just be like, that isn't fun. And I feel like, well, actually, no, that's literally what would happen with Riddler. Riddler would be like, oh, Batman is Bruce Wayne. Who am I gonna torture if I don't have him?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing as the Joker. So I think you're right. I think it does work in that context for the Riddler. And who knows? I mean, they could always spin it in a different way. So we've been talking a lot about Batman, though. And this is a Batman movie more so than any other Batman movie. In fact, I would dare say that there's almost no Bruce Wayne in this movie. It's
Correct.
all 100% Batman. Even when he's not in the suit, he is still Batman. So
Yes.
let's talk about Batman and Robert Pattinson's performance. Whoever wants to go first, jump up and
Ooh.
let's talk about Sparkle Sparkle Robert
All
Pattinson.
right. I'm going to go ahead and say that emo Batman is something that has spoken to my soul. I was never an emo kid in middle school or high school. Honestly, I wanted to distance myself from the emos as much as I could, to the point that I went, ooh, I like Linkin Park. I cannot like Linkin Park anymore. We got to get out of here. We can't be seen anywhere near them. Emo Batman is something that has spoken to my soul. It makes me want to put on really dark eyeliner and just listen to A Day to Remember and MCR just for the rest of my life. I love this rendition of Batman. It probably is now my favorite Batman because I am loving just his complete moody ass. I love that this is the first time we've seen Batman with the actual eyeliner that darkens his eyes whenever he's wearing the mask. And oh my god, there's just so much about this Batman that I love. He is so brutal. And God bless Matt Reeves for actually understanding, hey, you don't need to shake the camera and have it right up his nose to be able to get a fight scene. And Nolan was just like, I disagree. And Matt Reeves went, yeah, you know what? Maybe you're probably right. And this Batman is awesome. I don't really know. That's the thing. You guys have seen this movie more often, so I'll jump off of any particulars that you guys say from here, but I'm very positive on him.
I love this Batman. The way he played Batman. Yeah, there's not a lot of Bruce Wayne, but Batman is Bruce Wayne's real identity. Bruce Wayne is the secret identity. We all, I hope most of our listeners know that. Well, if you
All
don't,
5 of them better.
yeah. Well, hey, we gotta. I'm sure you guys have more than five. I know you do.
Look, Sean,
Um,
you are probably 12% of our listeners, and you're probably not going to listen to this episode because you're on it.
oh no, I will listen to
Oh, I'm so
this.
sorry. Okay, continue.
But what I was gonna say is just the brutality with which he fights, and it's so Batman. He's so brutal. Like the way it's shot too. Like you said, the not the shaking of the camera. It's almost like you hear. You couldn't actually hear, but I could hear like the bones crushing when he throws a punch and he snaps people's limbs. Oh, it was so brutal, and he does such a good job with the combat. Yes, there wasn't a lot of Bruce Wayne, but I
That's
mean,
okay.
he's obsessed with being Batman. That's him. He is Batman. I love the black eyeliner too, like you said, the emo Batman. Yeah, his like even when we see him as Bruce Wayne, I'd say about 90% of the time he's in the Batcave doing something related to what he's gonna do when he puts a suit on. that line, just "I'm vengeance." I kept repeating that all
Now,
week.
you know what's been repeating? It's been something in the way.
Oh
Just
yeah,
randomly will pop
since
into
the
my head.
first trailer, became obsessed with that song, and I remember just like going down a Nirvana kick, and that song. I was so happy they included that in the movie. Perfectly encapsulates this whole movie and Pattinson's portrayal as Batman.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think what I love, so all right, first of all, I agree with everything you guys said. A couple things. I think the way this movie starts with him kind of narrating, doing the whole noir kind of shtick of him narrating
Oh,
everything, and then it bookends and ends on that too. Fantastic. I love that. I think his Batman voice is probably the best Batman voice I've ever heard. It's perfect. And yeah, I think just overall. So obviously I'm a Nolan simp. We all know this. I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I really
Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
nothing wrong with that. I do love Christian Bale's Batman. I think his Bruce Wayne is second to none. I think it's stellar. The Batman himself, I think, is good. I do have issues with his portrayal as Batman. And yeah, Robert Pattinson's Batman is by far now, in my opinion, the best Batman we've ever had on screen. Now, like I said, and I don't mean this as an insult, but how his Bruce Wayne is, I have no idea because we didn't see it in this movie. But I think, judging off of what we've seen, even with Tenet, I think we can get a good idea that he'll do a perfectly fine Bruce Wayne.
I mean, that's the thing. There was no Bruce Wayne in this movie. Like it was actually pretty funny for me watching this. Anytime he wasn't in the suit, I'm like, this man is so obviously Batman. Just look at how bored this man is. This man doesn't want to be here. This man is just angrily staring at everyone. This man has the perfect jawline. Like this is Batman. How is this man just not Batman?
I would say that maybe not a lot of people have seen him in the suit other than Gordon. I mean, he's appears to always be out at night. The only time we see him in the daytime in the suit is when he's meeting with Catwoman on top of the building.
I just mean like more his personality than anything. Like this man just doesn't seem like he says any words. It's just like, oh well, if there was gonna be anyone, it'd be
Yeah,
you.
he's still obsessed with being Batman at this point. Like I mean, they even say it at the end. Like Riddler talks about how when they put on the mask, that's their true selves, and they allude to that, and
Yeah.
that's part of the theme of it. While we're on Batman, let's just kind of bundle him in here quickly, and we can obviously still keep talking about Batman, but let's bundle in Alfred here because they have a pretty close relationship, and
Oh,
he's got more of a minor role in this movie. He's kind of one of my minor issues with the movie, but I'm curious, what did you guys think of Alfred and just his relationship with Bruce Wayne and Batman in this movie?
you're not my father.
You're not my real dad. I'm
That's
gonna
the
go to
that's
my room.
that's the that's the moody emo Batman there for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Um.
listen to my records.
Definitely.
Something in the
In
way.
the
Shut up, Alfred.
way.
Definitely of the recent, the recent Alfreds, definitely weakest. I mean, just Michael Caine did such a good job as Alfred that I really can't see anyone else as Alfred, and he played such a minor role in this. I mean, he almost was like, you can't keep doing this to yourself, but then he ends up helping him in the end. I kind of wish they killed him off, to be honest.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I thought they
Damn,
did.
yeah.
I thought they did. But yeah, he played such a minor role that, I really can't I don't have a lot to say about him because like I said, he wasn't really in the movie a lot, and when he was, it was kind of just there as, "Oh, I'm the guy who knows you're Batman and I'm here to help you out, but I'm not really I you're Batman, you go do it."
If I wanted to talk about Alfred in this movie, he's definitely somehow even worse than Jeremy Irons in Batman v Superman, but I think maybe that's just probably lack of exposure. Jeremy Irons, I kind of liked him because he just seemed dry and sarcastic. I couldn't really get a feel for what Andy Serkis's Alfred was in this movie, but at the same time, this man, honestly, if you told me that this was leftover footage from him just walking around set during one of the Planet of the Apes movies, I'd probably believe you because this man was just kind of here. He didn't really do anything, and then he just got blown up. And the most interesting thing that he could have potentially done was the minute or two that I thought he was dead. So that's probably not exactly a good compliment. But again, he's such a small part of this movie that he isn't really detracting from everything. Anyways, Alfred. He'll probably be more important later on. Andy Serkis has never led me astray, so he probably has a good potential of being a good Alfred. We just don't see him here, just like we don't see Bruce Wayne in this movie.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem is we just didn't get an insight enough of an insight into to a real relationship between him and Bruce Wayne. So it kind of falls a little bit flat. Funny thing though, I kind of actually not that I agree or agree with Sean, but I did think there was a chance he was dead, specifically because
Yeah.
this Alfred just seemed so less important to me. So
Yep.
when that explosion happens, like, oh fuck, is Alfred actually dead now too? Like I actually did think about that for half a second, but then I was like, oh no, he just threw it away and he's fine. He's in hospital. He'll be okay. Once I saw I was in the hospital, I was like, yeah, he'll he'll live through that. That's that plot armor now.
Oh
Um,
God! As soon, actually, you know what? I want to complain about that. How is it that we got two explosions at close range, and both of those people were like, "Ah, we're kind of fine." Like, did Thomas Wayne teach everyone in his family, like, "Hey, listen, if an explosion goes off in your face, don't panic. It's okay. You'll be all right." The Waynes have been for years on end been able to take explosions to the face, and we're completely fine. Like Batman being right up close to that explosion from that Saw shock collar bomb thing, and then he's just like, I'm fine. Not even a scar on my bottom cheek. Completely okay. Alfred, I'm assuming that fire retardant little square box, he somehow cracked that open as soon as the explosion happened and he was completely fine. Okay.
Yeah, these guys are tough hombres, man. Wish I could survive an explosion in the face. Actually, I don't wish I could survive an explosion in the
No,
face
yeah.
like that. But
Mm. Okay, just because I think at this point we got kind of those characters. You brought him up, and now I want to invoke and bring him up. We got to get Gordon in here. Oh,
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's the right time. Yeah,
oh, Jeffrey Wright. Oh my God, I think Jeffrey Wright. He is. I think he still pales in comparison to Gary Oldman, but I also think that Gary Oldman got a lot to work with in The Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, so it's an unfair comparison. But at the same time, I think I prefer Jeffrey Wright because of his now new relationship that he has with Batman, where whenever they're going through the crack house and it basically turns into Seven, like it's not uh, inspired by Seven now. It just is Seven. You've got two buddy cops, and one of them just happens to be dressed like a bat, and now you have okay, come on, but yeah, I mean, it's true. It's true. Like those two people are like Batman. If he did finger guns, it would just be like, oh yeah, these are just two detectives now. But like the relationship between the two of them and actually being detectives in there, I was like, this is fucking awesome. I love that Jeffrey Wright is a more involved character in Batman's crusade for justice. Like it's awesome, and it's one of my biggest defining factors in this movie that every single time Batman is the bad cop and then Jeffrey Wright has to be the good cop to bring him back in, and it's dope. I love it.
yeah, it's kind of unfair to compare him to Gary Oldman because I mean Gary Oldman is just Gary Oldman,
That
and
too.
he had more to and you're right, he had a lot to work with in The Dark Knight, but this relationship between Batman and Jim Gordon is easily my favorite relationship between them I've seen on screen in any Batman movie. They do it so perfectly. Like I love that we just were able to cut past all the bullshit of him not believing Batman or Batman being wary of him and them not trusting each other. And you can tell that in this movie, those two trust each other 100%. And they're the only two that basically that can trust each other. And it does such a good service to this movie. And even right at the very start, when he kind of brings him into that crime scene with the moody music playing, and all the policemen are like, what the fuck? You're bringing him in here? But Jim's like, yeah, man, like this is the only guy I trust right now to kind of help me out in this situation. Like the mayor just fucking got murdered by a psychopath, and there's a letter addressed to him. Like we need his help. So the relationship between them is great. Jeffrey Wright is fantastic in this role, and yeah, this was definitely a highlight of the movie for me.
Yeah, I thought Jeffrey Wright did a tremendous job. I loved the relationship that him and Batman have in the movie. You can see like none of the other cops that they show, none of the other police really trust Batman, and they don't show that with Gordon. There's none of that. They already have the established relationship, and it's great. I absolutely loved the scene when they have Batman in custody,
Oh yes.
and um, Gordon's like, just give me some time with him. I'll talk to him. And then he finally is like, all right, just hit me in the face. And right there, it perfectly captures their relationship. Gordon trusts him so much that he's willing to almost put his job on the line for Batman, and it's great. And we see that throughout the movie, not just there by letting him basically escape, but defying orders, working with him, bringing him into crime scenes. Ed, when you talked about when they went into that crack house, oh my gosh, that goes back to how like gross this depiction of Gotham
Yep.
is, but yeah, it just shows how close they are, and Gordon really trusts him. And when he finds out all those cops are dirty and how much corruption there is, he still just he understands. He's like, Batman's the only one I can trust, and it was great. Absolutely nailed it.
One thing I want to bring up, just because you brought up the punch, I love how he has his head just kind of half tilted, and he looks like he's reprimanding Batman, and he's barely talking through his teeth. He's like, "Come on, Batman, just hit me, damn it! Like, I don't need them to recognize that I'm trying to help you. I'm talking through my teeth, so they can't really read my lips." And I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. Like, that is some shit that is back to the buddy cop shit, where you have two people who have probably worked with each other for so long that they know kind of how to handle each other. That's awesome. Oh, Gordon being the only person to go to Batman and actually literally push him and be like, "Batman, you're on your bullshit right now. I need you to stop that." And Batman's like, "Oh, okay." Honestly, it kind of reminded me of that Tarkin Darth Vader relationship, where it's like, this is the big scary guy, and big scary guy respects this man. Wow. Oh my god.
That's a great comparison, actually, and I have never even thought of that, and
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
that is a good one.
I
That
host a
whole bit
podcast sometimes.
that whole bit is great. I just love the whole And then they meet up later on. They're like, you could have pulled that punch. I did. So,
Oh
it's just the
god.
perfect
Yes.
capulation to that scene, and just
That
So
is
all
one of the most noir lines ever. Like,
yeah.
you could have closed your eyes and you could just been like, "I did pull my punch." It's like, yeah, that could have been Chinatown. That could have been any number of other noir movies, any other detective movies. That's incredible.
Yeah, you could just tell Matt Reeves is having fun making this movie, man, and it really shows throughout a good chunk of it. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I think we're all really positive on Mr. Gordon. You know who we haven't talked about yet is Colin Farrell and his 3,000 pounds of prosthetics, and the other big player villain in this movie, the Penguin, who now, by the way, has an HBO Max spin-off series coming. So let's talk a little bit about Mr. Colin Farrell and the Penguin. Boys, who wants to go first on this one?
I thought Farrell did a pretty good job as Penguin. We didn't really, we didn't get a lot of him, but I did like him. Definitely, I felt like when I was watching him, I felt like I was watching like Tony Soprano,
Yeah,
just
I can
that
definitely see
guy
that.
who owns a club, and he's like very much so, in the drug business, selling stuff. I don't know. One thing that I really didn't like I said, we didn't really get a lot of him on screen. Also, the car chase scene. I know like they showed that in the trailer with him going, yeah. I forget the exact
That's what
line.
you
Yeah.
get. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I was actually shocked they kind of kept that in because they showed it so much for like the trailer. I thought that was going to be one of those scenes that they didn't um include in the movie. But I thought he did a pretty good job. I wouldn't say like I mean of all the penguins we've seen on screen, obviously he did the best job, but that's not saying much.
All right, the Penguin. I rather enjoyed this man. I kind of like that he would probably fulfill the role of comedic relief, but the thing is that he's not overly quipping or anything. It's literally just that this man cannot help himself in speaking the way he does, so it always feels natural. I enjoyed him because he felt like what I always wanted Falcone to be in the first movie in Batman Begins, where I kind of would have preferred if the mob just was this ever present thing. Like, Gotham sucks. Batman, you're pretty good, but like you're never really going to eliminate crime. You're just going to help curb it. So the idea that in this movie the mob is just going to be something that is ever present, and I don't think the Penguin is ever really going to go down. I think Batman is just going to be like, I'm going to fight you. Occasionally I'll need your help. I want to smack you down as badly as I need to, but also I don't know how much I can do that without screwing myself over. And I kind of like that that's where they put the Penguin. So yeah, Sean, I heard that you were clicking. Go for it.
Oh no, I really liked how they made the Iceberg Lounge into like
Oh,
a nightclub. Like that was
oh,
so cool. Like at first I was like, I'm thinking, oh, this is probably just like like a headquarters. He makes his plans here, and then when they go in, it's just a freaking nightclub. I was like, oh my gosh, this is
And
awesome.
how they have
But
the
again,
super secret
who
section called the 40 Below. I think that was really
40
yeah,
below,
that was
yeah.
really cool too.
But again, who would be going out to this nightclub if I wouldn't want to be in Gotham.
Batman fighting in that nightclub is why I'd want to go, because that man
That
put
scene is
on a
sex.
oh my god, every single fist that Batman throws there, I was just like, ah, you know what I was talking about, how I would be a little bit bored and then I'd see something that was so quintessentially Batman. That was one of them. Seeing Batman in a nightclub getting shot point blank and just keeps walking and just demolishing these people. Oh my god. I there is a face. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's what let me see. The face you make when the beat is nasty. Yeah, there we go. That
Oh
is the
god.
face I was making during that fight. That is the face I made when I heard the Batmobile make a sound. That is the face I made when they did the shot of Batman walking down the dark alley and it was lit by the muzzle flash. There are so many moments. Oh, hold on. Batman wading through the floodwaters with the
Yes.
torch in his hand. Oh my god! The beat was nasty, Matt Reeves. You did it, and oh my god! Like as soon as I saw one of those shots, I went, "Man, I can't wait to see this shit at home." Oh yeah, just because I guess none of us have mentioned it, I watched it Tuesday before Friday came out. I watched it IMAX in a packed theater, which honestly I haven't watched in a packed theater in forever, and it was hot as hell in there. I was prepared for that. It's been so long since I've had to deal with that. Um, it was a bad, like, it was probably the worst theater experience I've had in a while because people would just not stop looking at their phones. And I heard a baby cry at some point. I was like, this is actually the worst. I kind of thought that since I was paying IMAX, it would get rid of a whole bunch of you. But nope, nope.
Not for
Uh,
Batman. It brings out everyone.
Yeah, no kidding. God, I really should have gone to like a late night on a Wednesday or something instead. But here we are recording this, so it probably wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, I saw it in IMAX too. Where'd you see it, Sean?
I saw it in
Yeah.
IMAX. Actually, it was pretty funny when I was about to go into the theater. Well, when I was in the theater, when I was just like waiting, me and my father were waiting for the movie to start. I saw some of my students,
Oh,
and they had just seen it, and they were like, "Mr. Mason, you're gonna love it."
That's awesome. I mean, yeah.
And then one took a Snapchat of me.
That's great.
Yeah,
Best teacher ever.
yeah.
No, undisputed. Undisputed.
shout out to both
No,
Sean and Mr. Mason.
Yes. Shout out to both.
there's plenty. There's great teachers out there.
I gotta ask. So, are either of you interested at all in this spin-off show with Penguin, though?
No, absolutely not. No, I don't care.
No. Okay. I'm gonna watch it because
Me,
I'm a Batman whore and I consume all media for it. I will watch it. I actually do think there's potential there. What I would like to see. Okay, again, in this movie, this is the Penguin's origin story. He's not the Penguin yet. They never call him the Penguin, although they make the joke. But this is his origin story. And I think it would be really cool if the TV show just kind of continues that and he becomes full blown Penguin in that. And it basically ends with him getting locked inside Arkham. And then they can kind of lead into the second movie. I don't know. I think that would be a cool idea. But what about you, Sean?
yeah, I like that idea a lot. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I mean, I'm obsessed with the Bat Family, so I'll definitely watch it. Yeah, I hope my hopes for the series is that it just goes more into like the mob crime of Gotham with the Penguin and stuff, and how he just basically runs his overall operation. Like I said, I keep picturing Tony Soprano, and imagine the spinoff is just The Sopranos, but with the Penguin.
No. Okay, you know what? I'm watching this now. I'm sorry. The idea of Penguin going, "Hey, come on, fool!" It's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm in. Let's
Oh
see
God,
Penguin. Let's see his wife. Let's see his 2 kids. Let's see him whack someone. I might be in.
Oh man, yeah. I don't know. That would be pretty cool. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm never overly optimistic about these HBO TV series spinoffs. But I mean, I'm a Batman fan, and I love Colin Farrell. And yeah, like to echo you guys, I think he did a very good job in this. He's not in it as much as I would have liked, but what's here, he's very good. I can't believe it's Colin Farrell. Like that's just an outstanding job with the makeup and the voice. That the fact that that voice comes out of him is crazy to me. So,
Hold on.
um,
that's exactly what my mom said.
yeah, the
My mom's like, oh, who played the Penguin? We're like Colin Farrell, and we showed her like a clip, and she was like, that's not Colin Farrell. I go, yeah, it is. She's like, what? I can't. How is that even possible? I'm like, mom, just go watch the movie. Actually, my mom's not like into like Batman or any type of superhero stuff like that
Mm,
at all. But I think she's gonna really enjoy this because I don't think this is like a traditional
it's really
superhero
not.
film at all.
it's not.
No,
No, there's a lot more.
we're actually not spoiling it for her. She usually asks, "So what happened?" Like she's not interested, but she wants to know everything that happened. But we're not doing that for her. We're making her watch it when it comes to HBO Max because God only knows. Well, I can't remember the last time she stepped in a theater. It has to be maybe 2000, whatever year Polar Express came out. We went on her
Oh my
birthday.
Okay, yeah. So it's been a
god.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
she hates theaters.
It, Dorian, I do have one question. Just
Sure.
because I feel like you would know Batman, if in this world where the Penguin is just Sopranos, who in the Batman universe could be Paulie?
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Uh, Black Mask. I mean, you can introduce him that way. I don't know
Like,
how
dude, it's just Paulie. It literally is just the actor that did Paulie now wearing a black mask.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah,
Oh
you
my
know what?
god.
I really hope on whatever passive episode that you talk about the Penguin show, you're like, yeah, it's just The Sopranos. It literally opens. Woke up this
Someone's
morning,
got me going
got myself a bow tie.
self a
Oh my god. All right. Anyways, fantastic stuff. We'll see what happens with the show. So we really haven't only touched on a couple characters left, and they're both kind of part of this whole nightclub scene. So let's jump right into Catwoman now. We kind of see her introduction here, where she's in the club and waiting on Cobblepot himself. And I love this rendition of her. I think it was done so well, the Bat and the Cat. But let's hear your guys' thoughts first.
Catwoman made fun of white people, so 0 out of 10, terrible movie. I never want to watch this movie again. Matt Reeves should be ashamed of himself, and I require an apology. Um, okay, no, all that. Catwoman, she was, yeah, she was good. I don't know why. Whenever I stop to think about her, I remember, oh yeah, you were in this movie. You were good. It's weird, but I don't feel like she had a lasting impression on me. I was just like, yeah, that's Catwoman, and that's good enough for me.
I thought she did a pretty good job. Like when she first goes on that recon mission where he puts like the contacts in her eyes. I definitely think she did a good job there. Like really showing like I have my own mission. Like I'm not here to help you. Like I'm doing this to help myself. And I think that perfectly encapsulates Catwoman as a
Yeah,
character. And then eventually as it goes, she turns to start liking Batman a bit more, actually helping him, actually being more genuine with him. But I did like the idea that she works at the nightclub. She's like a waitress, and she's kind of running drugs because she needs the money. I thought she didn't do like a terrible job. Definitely better than Halle Berry.
well, okay, that I was about to say the ceiling. That's the
Evergreen.
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have done a
um,
better job than Halle Berry.
yeah. No kidding. Yeah, I mean, compared to the other Catwomans, I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer has a classic sense to her, and Hathaway was fine. But this is definitely my favorite rendition of Catwoman I've seen so far. And I think a lot of it has to do with the relationship between the two of them and how they kind of play off each other. I think there's a lot of chemistry there, and I think they do a good job with it. I hope she's back for the second movie. I don't know how they would write that in, but I hope she does make an appearance somehow, because I'd be sad if that's all we get of her, because I think there could be more to that character personally. Again, there's rumors that they're going to do another HBO Max show with her. I don't know if I want that. That's I think a little bit too much for me, but I would love to see her getting back in the movie universe some way. I think that would be pretty cool.
I don't.
See, I could see her. I could see her appearing in the Penguin spinoff show.
Yeah, if she makes an appearance in that, that's fine. But I actually heard a full-fledged rumor that she's getting her own full-fledged series.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want that.
Interesting. We just got to wait and see, you know. I mean,
I already feel tired.
Yeah, I really hope they don't whore this out too much, because then there's talks of that Asylum series they want to do too. It's like, oh, you guys, don't stretch it too thin now. It's a good movie. I don't want to be, I don't want a whole universe. I don't want a whole MCU based off this one universe, right? Like, we're have to watch
Look. If
1,000
WB
things.
just does this and they're making their money off of the TV shows and the movies just stay the movies, and I don't have to fucking watch WandaVision to understand why Doctor Strange is talking to the Red Witch, like, we're fine. You can make the TV shows their own thing. Please just don't make them important to the movies.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So yeah, Catwoman, just enjoyable. I guess we don't have much more to say on her.
Yeah, she's fine.
Really, I think the only big character left that we haven't really touched on that much is Falcone himself, who's actually got a much bigger role in this than I was expecting. Played by the always great John Turturro, whom I love him. He's in so much good stuff, and he's great here. I think he's actually really underrated. Not enough people are talking about his performance. What did you guys think?
I thought he did a really good job. Yeah, I cannot believe the role, like how involved he was in the entire film. I like almost forgot that he was actually in the movie. Then he appears, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's in this. But he did a great job. Another mob guy, very different than the Penguin. Yeah, his overall, he's like just the way that he's running. He's basically pulling all the strings, running the show. Um, it's really interesting that he ends up being, the rat.
Oh yeah, God, he was the rat. God, that's so weird to think about. That someone who's in that much of a position of power is like, yeah, I'm gonna flip.
Yeah, it's an interesting character twist for him, I found, and one that was done really well. That he's El Rata. I can't even. My Spanish is not there.
El Rata.
It's okay. I'm here to handle it.
Yeah, you're good.
Don't you mean La Rata?
that scene is great. But yeah, no, his Falcone is interesting, because like obviously Falcone's in the Batman series for Nolan, and it's a completely different version of him. In this one, it's just a sleazy guy who's sold out at nothing to grab all this power. And yeah, he's the rat, and you get that kind of cool scene at the end when he's bringing him out into the light for Riddler to do his business. You get that scene of even Cobblepot himself. Penguin is pissed off. He's like, "You fucking rat! Like I'm not even that much of a piece of shit, you asshole." So even he's offended. So that's when you're like, "Oh, bad."
All right, so Falcone. John Turturro was fucking great here. I'm so glad that my ridiculous trip into Transformers last October didn't ruin him for me. John
He's in
Turturro,
those movies.
Yeah, he plays like an FBI
That's
agent,
sad.
and then he ends up losing. Then he ends up losing his job.
Then he basically becomes QAnon before QAnon became a thing. Also, at some point, Bumblebee pisses on him. I didn't have to let you know that, but I wanted to let you know that.
I fucking hate those movies so much.
How do you think I
echo
feel?
that.
How do you think I feel? Okay, well, John Turturro, great man. I really enjoyed his portrayal in this movie. I am very happy that it's... Oh, wait, he got shot. Damn it. Part of me was kind of be like, I can't wait to see him again. But no, dead. Okay, the one thing I do want to mention is that we didn't need to make him Catwoman's dad. We really didn't need that. That felt way too Batman 89, where back in the day you needed to have every character tie into each other, so it raises the stakes of how important it is. It's like, we don't really need that. No, not every character needs to have some tangential connection to each other.
Yeah, one thing I was really confused about was how come he was so interested in Catwoman if he didn't know that he was her father.
Well,
He didn't know.
Like,
Sean.
he seemed to be so interested in her.
He's
Did
a
he
bit of a
not know?
pervert.
Wait. So he did not know.
No, he didn't.
He didn't know,
No, he didn't. I think
Oh,
I
okay.
think he just wanted to bang her, honestly. Like,
Okay.
I think he's just a sleazeball.
I mean, I figured that, but there was so many other girls in the club like that. Like it was just it's strange that he took like an extra liking to her.
Look, the Freud levels of the chart are broken right now. I think that's the only thing that we can say at the moment right now. If he was attracted to her and had no idea that was his daughter, or maybe levels his narcissism, however you want to take it.
Yeah, I don't know. He just strikes me as the type of guy that probably acts nearly that way with every single woman that crosses his path. And that's just John Turturro's Falcone in that movie. And yeah, it's great. But I actually agree with Ed, like that we didn't need that tie-in specifically. That did feel like something, oh, we just need another reason to raise the stakes and feel something here. I'm like, well, no, we didn't need that. Like her friend was enough for me. Like that was more than sufficient reason for her to want to fucking cap his ass. So I was good with that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I thought that was a little very much 89 Batman trying to tie every single character together. I do like the scene where when he does get shot, and I thought that was a pretty cool scene.
Oh yeah.
But I was like, there's no way this is the end of it. Like this is close to the end of the movie. It's crazy that there was like another like hour after that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I think we've kind of gone over all the characters now. So let's just kind of jump into general plot stuff. We can talk about that last hour if you want and kind of how the movie ends with the whole plan unfolding. What did you guys all think of that? Like the conclusion of the movie, we got the kind of arc where Batman realizes that he needs to become more than vengeance and just kind of needs to become that symbol of hope. And that's where like I feel a lot of people like are kind of shitting on that last hour of the movie and saying it's too long. I personally didn't feel that, and I think that last hour was pretty important to kind of close the arc on this story. But what did you guys think?
I thought it had some of the best combat. I mean, like when he's fighting all like the Riddler's goons, basically all the, his 500 followers,
Oh,
that have all this yeah.
wait, no, hold on. I want to
Go
take
on.
this for a second. We have 10% of the following that an actual terrorist has.
Um,
That's scary to think about.
So we should become a bit more radical, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no kidding. That whole bit was great with him just like when they unlocked the video and he's just like, "Hey guys,
Okay, this is
we're almost
going
there."
Gucci.
Oh God! And by the way, fun fact, and I don't know if I mentioned this to any of you guys or not, but you remember Paul Dano's character's name in Prisoners?
No, but it's
no
important.
idea.
It's Alex Jones. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a fantastic little turnabout here to get us into the Riddler.
Denny knew. Denny knew.
Denny knew before anyone knew. Truly visionary filmmaking there.
But yeah, the ending. The ending is dope because I just don't associate water with Batman at all. So seeing him have to deal with water in any situation was like, oh, this is kind of dope. I enjoyed the fight scenes. The only thing I want to complain about is the movie is called The Batman. You're not going to give me a slow motion section about 2 hours and 55 minutes into this movie of someone putting a shotgun to Batman's head and then pull the trigger. You're not going to do that. So don't do it. Don't force yourself into that. Literally just, shit, I need to kill a Batman. Starts loading up a shotgun, and then, what was it, Catwoman comes to save him, I think. Catwoman just
Yeah,
immediately come in,
yeah, she
kick the
does.
guy. That's it. We don't need to spend more than 30 seconds on this. And that's the problem. Whenever you get to like a 3 hour movie, it's just like, you better make sure that all of this is worthwhile. And a slow motion section of, are they going to kill the Batman? Like, of course not. Of course not.
That would be a ballsy move, eh? Just kill off the Batman in the first movie.
We're getting really close to the topic, and I want to move over. Nope. The Spectre is approaching. We
Yeah,
already
no,
had the
we're good.
Uncharted episode.
We'll avoid that. Yeah. And then I love. By the way, shout out to him literally pumping in. I'm gonna cope so hard that's Venom.
It
Wow,
is.
the substance Bane uses,
It
because
so
it
is.
totally he acts exactly how Bane would act when he injects that. So that was a
I
really
wonder if
cool
that's
nod to the
yeah.
universe.
I wonder if that's gonna lead to like Bane being in the universe.
It's interesting because we've seen so much Bane, so I wouldn't think so, but that does seem weird to have the substance in there otherwise. So I think he might make an appearance at some point, if not, maybe not a major
And
player, but
he
maybe he'll be in Arkham or something like that already.
and I know he's such a fan favorite since The Dark Knight Rises. He's become a huge fan favorite amongst the Bat fans.
Dorian, don't do it. Don't do it. I want to too. Just no. We need to restrain ourselves.
I
No,
will.
no
I
impressions.
will. But can we like? Would anyone complain at all if they just bring Tom Hardy back somehow for this? Like, just have him
No.
be in a
Nope.
random
Nope.
Would
scene
not
in
complain at
Arkham,
all.
just sitting there and be like, "Oh no, I can't do the voice. Can't do the voice."
Okay,
But
no, Sean, you can do it. Sean, well, actually,
no, do the voice.
Sean, we are gonna have you for the Batman episode,
Oh yeah,
so
never mind. So you can't.
so
Never mind.
that's the thing. Dory and I, we've kind of just said like the Bane impressions. We would probably do that every 10 minutes if we wanted to. Actually, 10 minutes is a long time, probably 5. So it is up to you if you want to save it for whatever
I'll
we.
save it.
Okay, all right. Oh, God, oh the restraints, the
There's a lot
restraint.
of it's the hold it in emote. It's like right now, but
Yeah.
um,
I'll save it, and I have a story about the Bane voice to tell you
Yes.
guys on that episode
all right. Well,
that I
that's exciting.
did with my students.
Oh.
There's the hook for the episode, folks. That's how we do a hook. All right. Well, so story wise, is there anything else we've missed? Because I have one more thing I want to go into, but if you guys have anything else story wise, specifically character that we missed, feel free.
Action.
Now's the time.
Action. How have we not
The
talked
action.
about
Yeah,
the
fair.
Batmobile?
Yes.
How have we not talked about the hottest car chase of 2022? Oh boy, the Batmobile made. I don't remember what point it was, right? But I remember that we were sitting in the IMAX theater. And now here's the thing: I prefer myself a Dolby Atmos, a Dolby Vision, Dolby Theater situation whenever I go to the theaters. I don't remember when, but I think early on in the movie, my wife turns to me. It's like, "Hey, what are we watching right now?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "This isn't Dolby Atmos, is it?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, you recognize it? Oh no, I've indoctrinated her. I've broken her. Yes." And I was like, "Yeah, we're in IMAX. This is kind of why I don't prefer this. It's a nicer screen, but the sound doesn't punch as hard." The Batmobile was the moment where I was like, I think I might regret watching it here because the Batmobile is so hot in the sound design department. That thing just roars. And it's like, oh my god, that Batmobile jumping through the fire and they have a second
Oh my
explosion
gosh.
blowing up right next to it. It's like, what? That second explosion didn't need to be there. But it is so hot to see that. The camera being bolted onto the Batmobile, and then you get to see Cobblepot's car just keep flipping like ridiculously amount. Like, there's no way the laws of physics with the way the Batmobile is that would work out, but who cares because it's awesome. Oh my god. That entire chase scene was again that stank face of just oh oh and again, I literally, I'm looking at the screen, turning to my wife, and that's like in 2 second intervals, be like, oh, 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 like, oh, sick, sickening. Easily,
I,
probably peak Batman. That entire chase scene. Honest, like, God bless Reeves because he gave me two things that might be my favorite Batman things ever. One of them is the shot overhead of him walking through the dark with the torch in his hand at the end, and then two is this car chase. And I can't really tell which one's one and two. All I know is that I love both of them.
I'm really waiting and hoping that they release a model of this Batmobile because I own a model of the Batmobile from almost every film slash animated adaptation of Batman, including the Lego 1989 Batman that came out like 2 years ago. Um, and like I really, really loved this iteration of the Batmobile. So good, absolutely so good.
Yeah, I don't think you got to worry about that, Sean. Like if they're just throwing away money if they don't release some sort of toy based off that or car model or something like that. But yeah, that scene's incredible. The whole car chase sequence is so good. It's shot so well. I can't the Homer in me. I can't put it ahead of the Dark Knight, like basically car chase, but I can't. I just can't. I want to, but I can't. But it's very very good, and I think it's an incredible sequence.
I'm excited to see more of the Batmobile. Like, very excited.
I think
And then
that's the action scenes, right?
we'll get the back.
I don't think there's. Oh my god! You know what? I'm not gonna poo-poo the Batcopter because the Batcopter in The Dark Knight Rises is hot as hell. So
It is.
it
I
can
love
work.
that. I love that back.
And it has an ejection button.
Yeah, that they did finally fix.
Oh my
Oh
god,
boy.
the thing is lead shielded, so obviously Batman would have survived a nuclear blast.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
See, we're complaining about a blast to the face. This guy survived a fucking nuke.
Oh, he's Batman.
That's true. That's true.
Amateur. What was that? Amateur.
Yeah, amateur hour. All right. Well, I think the best way to kind of wrap things up here is talk about the future. I want to know from you guys. You're in charge of the second Batman now. You're Mr. Matt Reeves. You're casting your next villain. I want to know who you want as the next villain for the Batman sequel, and preferably which actor you would like to play them. So, Ed, let's start with you. Who would you like to see if you had your choice?
All right. For the first, the Batman 2 sequel draft choice that we're going to have, we're going to pick. This is literally the only actor I can think of because I'm being put on the spot. I'm going to go Ed Norton. The Freeze. I need this man, sad boy, about the fact that his wife is dead. I need this man using his big brain to talk to Batman. And I need them going back and forth about, hey, you probably shouldn't be doing this. He's like, well, I love someone. You lost a whole bunch of people. I don't want to be you. Give me that. Also, in the middle of it, by the end, whenever they get first into the production, I need them to call Barry Keoghan and be like, hey, we need you on set. There will be cake and cookies. And then they sacrifice him. Like they literally Aztec sacrifice him to make the movie good. And then they smear the blood on the camera that they're using as good luck.
10 out of 10, cinema at its finest. I love it. Sean, what about you?
Also record that and make that the end credit sequence.
Yes, please. Sean, what about you? Where are you going with this?
So I want Mr. Freeze. Like I said, he's one of my favorite villains. I would love that. And I want Alan Richardson to play him.
Wait, no, but Alec Rickman's dead.
No, Alan.
Alan, yeah.
He's not dead. He's not dead.
Alan Rickman, yeah.
No, Richson.
Oh.
Yeah, Richson. Yeah. I was like, there's no way he's dead. He just didn't reach you.
Hey, well, okay. Yeah, I was confused too. Okay, no, we're good. We're back into the territory of alive.
Okay, hold on.
I actually don't know if I've seen anything in him in.
Yeah,
Alan Richson. He just is in the new Reacher series that just came out. I really like the Reacher book, so I watched the series. Yeah. He's like probably like 6'2". He's jacked.
Reacher. There we go. That'll.
Oh. I mean, if nothing else, this guy could make a good Bane too.
I was thinking that too, but
jacked,
I want Tom Hardy. Yeah, this guy is jacked.
This man would need to be a whole lot slender to be a Dr. Freeze, a Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, I always think of Mr. Freeze as more of like the thing I like about Mr. Freeze is he could be a physical challenge for Batman too, more so than the Riddler. But he's also like, he's more slender built, kind of like Batman too. But definitely interesting. I've never heard of this guy. I'll have to look more into him.
Yeah, just looking at this man, it's like, now you'd be a good Bane. Like, I'm just staring right at these man's pecs, and it's like, you could probably break a back or two.
Yeah, I could definitely see.
I was thinking him as Bane, but Tom Hardy is just.
I mean, that's fair. It's tough to top Tom Hardy.
Sean walked into here thinking that Tom Hardy's going to come back for Bane, but then once we got to the end, he's like, actually, you know what? Now, never mind. We're gonna hot swap here.
No shit. I'm going to join both you guys in Mr. Freeze. I definitely think that is the guy I want, and the actor I want to play him is Michael Fassbender. I would love to see him in a turn in Mr. Freeze. I think he would be phenomenal in that role, and that is what I need in my life.
Oh Absolutely. My god. Imagine Michael Fassbender going back to back with some Magneto and some Mr. Freeze. Ooh.
Yeah, he's already shown you can do the comic book villain. I think Mr. Freeze, I think we all know that there's a really sad story behind there that could be done well in the right hands. I think we all know that Mr. Reeves is the right hands to do that. It's just a slam dunk with the city flooded now. It's the perfect introduction for Mr. Freeze. So, Matt, I know you're listening to this. You're a big Passive Pixels fan. Please, call us. We'll help you out.
Matt Reeves, if you call me, I'm not going to hang up. I respect your time too much to answer.
All right. Well, if you guys have any other comments, now is the time. That's basically all I had on my little outline here. So please, floor is yours. If you have any last impressions of the Batman you wanted to get off your chest, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Shout out to Michael Giacchino and the score he did.
How did we not talk about the score? You're right. Fuck, so good.
literally 4 or 5 notes for the Batman theme, and you play it as many times you did, and it's still hot from minute 1 as it is in hour 3. Bass department, I have a new inductee if you have room.
Yeah, just when I heard that song in the trailer, in the first trailer, I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's fucking
Something
fire."
in the way.
If he
And
was
then
the person who chose that, God bless him. God bless him.
the Nirvana, yeah, there's just the music, the score, everything mixed together in this movie is done very well. There's not a song or a sound out of place. The constant use of Ave Maria in this as well, which I said I'm a big fan of that song. I think it suits it perfectly. So love all the music in this movie. It's really great.
God, yeah, sound design wise, this movie made me really regret watching this in IMAX because it's like, oh man, oof. Which is why, even though I like this movie, talking about it has definitely made me more positive on it. It's definitely something that I knew I was always going to get in 4K because I want to be able to hear it in the theater room. Because I like this movie, but for some reason, not enough to watch it in Atmos again, but enough to buy a steelbook and import it from Europe and watch it in the room. Yes, yeah, I probably
Shout,
like it that much.
shout out to Amazon Italy, which by the way, that steelbook sold out now. So
Wonderful. Oh my god, it's gonna
we
be
were
perfect stonks.
we were smart grabbing it. The other one's still available, but that specific one completely sold out now.
Oh, Fnac, right?
No, so there's the Fnac one, then there's the Amazon Germany one, but that first one that was posted, the one that we thought was fake, that one's still available on Amazon Italy too. But I don't like that one as much.
Okay, clarification, people. I guess if anyone's listening, you can still order stuff from different region Amazons if it's not blocked to you. So I currently have an order for a Batman Steelbook coming in from Amazon.it. IT stands for Italy. Fnac, FNAC. They're a website that occasionally has special edition steelbooks that are local only to France. Thankfully, they ship. So if you needed the hook of steelbooks in you as well, congrats. I just gave you another dose to get addicted again.
Also, in case you are interested in that Fnac one, that actually is available on Amazon Germany too, but it's Blu-ray, not 4K. Just keep that in mind.
Okay. I don't know if there's anything else I want to mention. Sean, do you have any final thoughts about The Batman?
My final thought about the Batman is just that absolutely outstanding film. It's my new favorite Batman film, and I cannot wait for the future. And a couple final thoughts that I want to say to you guys, not about the
I'm so
Batman, but
sorry.
I just want to say
No. Oh no.
thank you so much for having me on Passive Pixels. You know, I absolutely love this show. Provides me a lot of entertainment, and my father, I got him on it. And you know, it really means a lot to me that you guys, you know, had me on here, and I really appreciate it.
I'm just gonna die now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Being complimented is not my default state. I preferred being insulted, so I know, like, oh, okay, cool. I can probably be doing better.
But I can't I don't insult
I
people.
know,
I don't like
we
to.
love you for that.
I
Sean.
feel really bad. I feel so bad when I feel so bad when I like think I like insult people or like make people feel bad. Like I feel so bad.
You see,
No,
people. This is why we praise Sean every single chance we get.
yes, yes, he is far too good for this show, and we were very happy to have you on. Definitely.
Well, like I said, I'm so happy to be here.
All right, so Sean, we're probably going to record our main episode from here. So go ahead, close out the tab. No worries, the audio's still going to save regardless. All right, bye,
Later
Sean.
days.
All right, let's see. Windows. There we go. What a nice young man.
What a fantastic young man.
Sean, just a wonderful person. And honestly, I think at this point I should just send him the credentials for logging into the Passive Pixels account, and he should probably just host it.
Yeah, he can just do it going forward.
Also, good job. That was well hosted. We didn't crash
Thank
into a wall or anything.
Thank you.
And you know what? I feel like I made the right call in having you talk Batman because, well, it's Batman. Okay. Now, it's an hour 20 here. This is going to probably be a longer episode. Do you think we no, fuck it. We are going to fit this shit in 2 hours. I don't know how yet, but we're going to fucking do it, okay?
Let's do it.
I'm regaining control. Let's go into topics, okay? Let's go into table of contents. I've got house because you reminded me of the back taxes that I didn't pay in the last one. So house. Tick, tick, boom. Elden Ring. Life. The Batman, but we already talked about that. Lost City of Z. Babylon's Fall demo. Gran Turismo 7. The Brady Bunch movie. Jeen-Yus, a Kanye trilogy, and Chernobyl. Dorian, give me your ridiculous list that gives me enough time to go to the bathroom and come back because I know that's how long the list is going to be.
Yeah, cue up the Jeopardy music. So we've got Horizon, Forbidden West, Demon Souls, Gran Turismo 7, Returnal, Euphoria, Chernobyl, Ozark Season 4, Baby Driver, Coda, Hacksaw Ridge, Ready or Not, Persona, The Batman, we talked about, I, Tonya, Swiss Army Man, Judas and the Black Messiah, Memento, Belfast, Vertigo, Underwater, 12 Angry Men, Ed Casty, Twitch stream, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Lost in Translation, Aladdin, and Before Midnight.
I'll go ahead and start it because, back taxes. You reminded me that I watched House last week. Well, last episode, whatever, interchangeable. And I didn't talk about it. So let's go right into House. House was weird. House felt like it was just kitschy to be kitschy. And by the time that I got done with it, I was just like, yeah, that was a movie. It's probably, a whole lot more novel when it came out because it's just so damn weird. At this point, I was like, this just feels weird to be weird, but I've already watched a lot of weird shit, so this isn't really doing anything for me.
It's so bizarre, that movie. Like it, I still don't really know what even happened in it. It's just it's one of the most bizarrely shot movies and edited movies I've ever seen. And I don't know, I just have this weird sort of appreciation for it. Can I recommend it to anyone? Hell no. Do I think it's cinema? No, but it's fucking interesting as hell, and it was unique enough that I was happy I watched it. It was just so fucking weird.
I still think I would consider it cinema though, because it is so weird that it just feels like it was pushing whatever special effects could do at the time it came out. Where it's like, yeah, this is still cinema, but it's also like time has kind of left this movie behind.
Yeah, like when did, it was the 70s, right? It originally came out.
I think so, which honestly, that's
House.
whatever time it came out in is always still going to be impressive because, like, even though you can tell that it's blue screened a lot of the times, it's just like, no, I have to imagine that anything before the 90s would not be this weird. So anything that further back being that weird, it's like, oh, well, um, pretty fucking cool of you to do that.
Yeah, that's fair. And like I can understand, like I totally understand your opinion on this movie. Like I said, like I don't even really fully understand why I liked it. Um
Maybe
I
you just like the
just
weird.
I think I just embraced this weird. I'm also I've come to understand weird can sometimes hit for me. It's random, but like I don't know, it definitely can because I do like David Lynch, and that is David Lynch. Like he is just weird and bizarre, and there was nothing normal about his work, and I'm a big fan. And a lot of people consider him to be one of the more pretentious guys in Hollywood and some of the films he does. And I think, it's weird because I normally not into that sort of thing, but I guess if you just make it weird enough that I can
Mhm.
kind of dig it. I really like when movies have a sort of dreamlike quality to them and nothing feels real. And I felt that in House for sure.
Oh my god. So that's why just David Lynch speaks to your soul, right? He just tends to go
Yeah.
dreamlike.
Yeah. I
Okay.
just love that kind of dreamlike feeling where just it feels like everything is fake. And there's just something so cool about that to me.
All right. Good enough. I feel like my taxes have been paid. House is gonna be hey, you want some weird shit? Out of 10.
Yeah, I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
All right, we're still gonna try. God damn, we're gonna somehow still try and get this under 2 hours. Okay, you go start knocking things out because my list is oh god.
I'm going to basically just kind of keep going until you want to interject and stop me and put something of your own in there. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So let's start Horizon Forbidden West. I
Oh
finished
god.
it.
Oh no.
Overall, a really fantastic game. I really enjoyed my time with this. It was a great experience. I definitely did get a little bit burnt out near the end, as I was saying on the last episode. I could feel that open world creep start to creep in a little bit. And it definitely happened. So I mainlined the story pretty much from that point on. But what's there is really great. I feel like the story was a big improvement over the first game. I definitely cared a lot more about it. They added characters that were more interesting than just Aloy to me. And yeah, there was just a lot of stuff there to enjoy. The combat in those games is just incredibly fun to me. It never will not be fun for me to just get into a fight with a giant robot and basically try pick away at its weak points and knock stuff off that it can salvage later. I don't know. Something about that loop to me is really fun, and I enjoy that. Very interested to see where Gorilla goes next from here. They do, I mean, there could be a third one, but they don't necessarily set that up. But I feel like if this sells as good as the first one does, there probably will be a third one.
Oh, there
But I'd
will be.
also kind of like them to move on too. So I guess we'll see.
Okay, now I don't really need to repeat any of the diatribe that I did last time. What I will say is that I want you to just spoil this for me. Save me whatever 40 hours I would need to, or even just the hour that I would need to read a summary on Wikipedia or something. So, 3, 2, one. Did the clone Aloy take out clone Aloy with a golf club, and then now she's gonna be Horizon 3 2 Dawn?
Oh man, if that was true, that'd be the best game of all time. But no, unfortunately, that didn't happen. No, Aloy and Cloyne Aloy basically, they work together and solve the problem, and everything ends in a very satisfactory way. The world is saved yet again. There's a pretty kind of cheesy third act, like really near the end twist where, okay, like about the humans that basically flew away and then come back in this game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So they come back in this game, but then there's one of them in particular that's like good. That like she's like, but she looks bad, and you're like, no, you're bad. But she pretends to be good, and she's like, no, no, I'm good. I actually wasn't with those guys. I just wanted to help you, Aloy. And surprise, surprise, at the very end, she turns on you. So I was like, okay. I was like, yeah. Like, I mean, this is the least surprising twist of all time. So you basically take her out and save the world again, and that's it.
Is Hades solved? Can they finally terraform again?
There's still work to be done at the end, but yes, it does seem like that. And I'm sure if they want to make a third one, they'll just throw in some complication that makes that not possible.
Do you smell any direction that they could take a third one, or would it literally just be, well, we have to invent a problem to make a third one?
That's what it would feel like to me,
Ah,
honestly.
God. Okay, well, I'm gonna give this a gorilla. I'm like really close to just striking you out of 10.
You haven't already, Jesus.
At
It's
Horizon, I've struck out. That's the thing. Like
That's
between
fair.
Killzone and Horizon, that's like 2 franchises now. Where it's like, so like if
That's
you
what I
guys do
mean.
a new IP and you guys still fuck it up, it's like, well, you're done to me.
Yeah, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed my time and my experience with that game, so it was good. Quickly going to talk about Demon Souls. I barely played it, honestly, just for a minute or two. Well, a little bit more than that. I borrowed it from somebody just to, be like, hey, let me, try this. I have nothing to play right now. I don't want to get into anything major before Kirby.
Hmm.
So I got to the first boss. I killed it. It was pretty easy, this blob thing. And then you kind of get to like, I guess, which is the first real boss, which is this giant dude with like a shield. And he's just, the problem is, like, I guess if you do a magic build, you can kind of cheese him. I didn't do a magic build, so it's like, okay, I gotta actually fight this guy fair. And like, my attacks do absolutely no damage to him. It's like a sliver of health every time, and it's like,
Yep.
okay, I die, and then I gotta make the trip all the way to get back to him and like get more health and all of this shit. And it's so obtuse to me in the game design of Demon Souls, and like what I'm really supposed to be doing next, if I'm even supposed to be fighting that guy, or if I should be going a different direction, if I should be grinding, what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm just, no, no, thank you. Beautiful game. I love the combat in it. The combat feels great. Not for me.
Yeah, Demon Souls, I tried for a little bit. Very pretty game. I wanted to keep playing it, but the first time that I spent like an hour and a half just exploring and then this shield dude just demolished me in one hit, I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then as soon as I got sent back, my brain was like, hey, you remember Returnal and how you feel whenever you just get sent back and you have a handgun? I got that exact feeling again. And I was like, this isn't what I want in my life, and I kept trying it. I found that the parries were like super satisfying, and I was like, "Oh, that's clicking the right part of my brain." But eventually, I just kept spending time with it, and then my brain just never went, I was enjoying this. Like, no, I just went, yeah, I'm just spending time here. So I dropped it. And will I get back to it because Elden Ring has kind of reconfigured my brain? Perhaps, because I still have access to it, but I feel like my brain is going to end up doing the exact same thing it did last time, which is, yeah, this probably isn't worth it. Out of 10.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I'm not gonna rate it because it's not for me, but there's my rating, not for me out of 10. So I'm sure it's good, but
We're going to force the hand. We're going to go straight into Elden Ring.
oh,
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm, as of last, actually, no, it wouldn't be technically last night. It would be technically 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. of today that we're recording. I hit basically 50 hours in this game or more. I don't remember how many hours. All I know is that Elden Ring is hot. This game is really starting to push me. Uh, oh my god, these boss fights are starting to break me down, and I'm slowly getting better and better until I don't, because my hands completely gave up on me and my brain can't really process what's going on anymore. This game is so damn good, and Miyazaki is in my brain now, and I should have never let that man in, because I don't know how long this game is going to be. I don't know how long I'm going to spend time with it. I just told myself yesterday that I was going to explore, and that's all I'm going to do. So tell me why I spent like a good hour just fighting bosses that I was like, I told myself I'm not doing this. My hands haven't recovered yet, and yet I still was doing it. Oh my god, this game is weaseling into my brain, and every single time I'm not playing this game, I wish I was playing it.
so it's funny you mention this. So I actually there was a streamer who was streaming the other day, Ed
Disgusting.
Casty. You can
Ew.
find him on Twitch, and I
Ew.
tuned in to part of the stream, so I might as well get this off my list too. No com, 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 no com.
Oh my god. Fuck those xenomorph multi-handed caterpillar looking motherfuckers, okay? I don't need those bitches sending come homing missiles to take away my health. The funny thing is that catacomb that I was in, that those guys were in, I got teleported in there somewhere around the 10-hour mark where I was so underleveled. And if I got hit by the cum, I died immediately. And
Oh shit.
yeah, exactly. And you know what I still did? I still fought them because I am insane. Occasionally I would win. I spent like a good hour or so trying to make sure I killed all of those xenomorph looking fucks. I succeeded only once before I went to the top and realized there were three more. And I was like, I'm out. I can't do this right now. Um, but yeah, this game is weaseling into my brain in ways I didn't expect, where now every single boss fight, I'm shocked every single time that I die. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? That was fair. Even in that 3 hour stream that I did, I felt like most of it was fair, and that's mostly because I know I shouldn't have been doing that. I could have just gone somewhere else, leveled up a little more, come back and fight this guy, and it would have been more fair. But no, I decided to push myself and fight a boss that I think I was seven levels under level to fight. Um, I guess I'll mention this, that 3 hour stream that I'm talking about. I edited it down to 40 minutes as best as I could, and I uploaded it to YouTube. Honestly, I don't even remember what my YouTube name is, but either way, wherever the episodes post on YouTube, I have it posted there. I even left a timestamp if you just want to go to me succeeding instead of me fucking up for like 30 minutes. So, yeah, Elden Ring is fucking good. Oh my god. Hold on, let me see. What is my Oh, my channel name is literally just Ed Casty. Okay, perfect. All right, there it is. If you want to see how ridiculous this game is getting into my brain, ugh. You know what? I'm gonna probably talk about that video too at the very end. When I beat Radon and I just walked away from the screen, I smacked my door. I collapsed onto a couch. I yelled. I smacked a box that the 4K player in that I'm supposed to return is in. Like I lost my mind a little bit, and Oh, holy shit! I can't believe it.
You scraped your knee too, or something, didn't you?
I did scrape my knee. I
Yeah.
forgot I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that wasn't ideal.
So yeah, I will unfortunately be the only person, continue to be the only person in the world right now that's not playing Elden Ring. But I continue to hear amazing things, and I gotta say that Twitch stream was fun. Definitely a fun game to watch people suffer through, if nothing else.
Out of the 3 hours that I spent playing that, I felt bullshitted maybe less than 5 times, and I should have really put a counter of how many times I died, but in the video that I uploaded, I did not cut a single death, so you will see every single time I die, and that's probably why the video is almost 40 minutes long. That's how many fucking times I died, and I cut those deaths to, like, 10 seconds or less. So, yeah, do the math on that one.
Yeah,
Uh, El
I watched a few minutes of the video. It seemed good.
All right, Elden Ring is gonna be Miyazaki is burrowed into my brain, and I don't know at what point he's leaving. Out of 10.
It's gonna be oof, I'll continue to avoid it because I don't want another Breath of the Wild on my hands out of 10.
Good call on your part.
All right, Returnal. Look, I
Ooh.
reinstalled Returnal because there's a new update coming for it, the 3.0 patch, which is going to give us co-op and fucking a tower that never ends, and you continue to die more. So I was like, hey, let's install this game and see if I still have any sort of skill at it, which I kind of do and I kind of don't. But
Mhm.
yeah, I still love this game. It's still great. It still plays wonderfully. It's just I adore this game even with the time away from it. A little bit rusty, so I want to do a couple more runs before this. I think me and Ed might do a co-op stream of it, so you can look out for that.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
yeah, can't wait.
That would have been my score as well. It's gonna be co-op out of 10.
Yeah, so it's a 9 out of 10. We'll talk about it more when the new update comes. All right,
Mhm,
moving on. Let's talk about Euphoria next.
mhm.
Look, I've finished all of season 2 now, so I'm done. I'm caught up on Euphoria. I do think season 2 was an improvement over season 1, but not major enough for me to care all that much. I still don't love it. I still think the absolute peak of this show were the special episodes at the end of the first
Yes,
season.
correct.
Those were absolutely fantastic, and we've got nothing close to that since.
Yep.
I do want to see. So the season 2's done now. My assumption is there's probably going to be 2 more special episodes at some
God, I
point.
hope so.
I kind of want to see where those go before I completely say I'm dropping this show. But if there are no special episodes or the special episodes are not good, then I probably will be dropping the show because I just don't enjoy it enough to continue. So
I
that's basically my thoughts on Euphoria.
I feel safe in telling you to come back for the special episodes, but also don't come back for season 3 because at this point, I think that's the cadence that they're doing, which
Yeah.
is that the seasons are going to be the garbage that everyone wants and gorgeously shot. And then if they do have special episodes, because this is the thing, the special episodes were pandemic shoots, and that's why they were so landlocked to one location. So I if they do another special episode, I kind of hope they have the same mentality, but I don't know. So if there is more special episodes, I feel you're safe in dipping into those. But besides that, season 3, you should not. Yeah, I finished Euphoria as well, and season 2, dope. Honestly, I kind of didn't care for the way the season ended because it felt a little bit loose. And then knowing that now we're gonna have to wait another 2 years, it's like, oh my god, this show. Well, actually, you know what I was gonna say? This show can't be that extensive to make. But then I remember how gorgeously shot it is. It's like, never mind. You probably want to make sure that those shots look right on spot. So yeah, take all the time you need. I just don't want to really wait to see my garbage. I'm gonna go ahead and just do mild spoilers. So, 3, 2, 1. How about Lexi's play? I need to hear your opinion on that one because Lexi's play was just, ooh, that was a moment for me.
I didn't really like it, honestly.
Yeah.
Look, the play itself was cool. I liked the idea of it, but it just I didn't need a whole episode of it. Basically two whole episodes of it. Like I was fine with the finale itself. The finale itself was how that last episode should have been. I just I
I,
like the idea of it. Just the execution wasn't there for me.
you're telling me that Maddie going, someone needs to take this bitch out, and then she Jerry Springered the stage. Come on.
It was
That
that
was
was in the finale, right?
yes.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that stuff was good. The finale was good. I just mean the episode before that, which is like the entire play. That's the entire episode.
Oh no, that's the thing. I mean the play in general. Like I mean everything that happened
Okay.
there.
Yeah. The stuff that happens in the final episode of the play where they all go Jerry Springer on it and all that shit, and you get the huge fight on play, and the mom comes on. Like that stuff's all great. I love that. That was hilarious.
Oh my god. It's just so much fun. This show is so much garbage. Yeah, if you didn't like that, you're done. There's no reason for you to come back for season 3. Your best hope is that if everyone starts talking about the special episodes the same way that they did the last ones, jump in for that. But like, you've done all the time you need to know that this isn't for you.
Yeah, and it's surprising to me because this is now HBO's second most watched show of all time, besides Game of Thrones, which will never be topped. But besides Game of Thrones, this is number 2 now. And yeah, it's a 2-year wait until the next season, which is kind of crazy to me. But Zendaya is so popular right now, so I guess it's just you're basically waiting on her. Good luck.
She's so hot right now. She's on Arrakis. She's wearing the Gucci belt right now, along with her helmet. It's going to be incredible.
Spoken like a true cast member of Euphoria.
Euphoria is going to be, fuck, that's 2 years out of 10.
A solid 6 out of 10 for me.
Keep rolling.
All right, Ozark season 4. So I'm a couple episodes into the first season, or into the why did I write first season? A few episodes into the 4th season now. Look,
Damn.
it's still very good. It's enjoyable. I love this show. I truly believe there is a Netflix original stink. I do not like the Netflix original stink. This
Fact.
show does not have the Netflix original stink to me. It's one of the
Sick.
few shows that they have made that I think rises above that. I'm also a bit of a Jason Bateman simp, so that could be part of it, but he's great in this. The girl that plays Ruth, I forget her name, but she's phenomenal in this, and I would love to see her in more stuff. And yeah, so they're just basically doing the first half of season 4 now. The second half, I think, is dropping
Ugh.
sometime in April, which I usually hate that shit, but it's actually not that long a wait. So it's like, all right, fuck it, I'll just jump in now. And yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they wrap everything up on this show because I think this is one of Netflix's most popular shows of all time too. So I don't know where they're going to go after this, but thankfully I don't have much more interest in anything else they do. So that's good.
It would be popular enough if they cut the final season into 2. Because they did that shit for Breaking Bad, they did that shit for Mad Men, but then again, that's because AMC had nothing else. Oh wait, hold on, Better Call Saul now as well.
Yes,
AMC
Better Call
has
Saul's
nothing
good.
else, so they're just like, hey, we need to stretch this shit out as long as possible because, oh my god, we don't know what we have next. So whenever you see a final season being split into 2, it's usually because, oh yeah, there's enough eyeballs on it. Ozark, I have still watched only the first episode, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. I felt that it was interesting. I liked it. But also, there are so many other TV shows that I need to watch that I still haven't. I guess I'll throw it in here because I technically did watch The Sopranos last episode and this episode, but I kind of don't want to do episode by episode if I'm not going to do details because, if anything, what am I just going to do? I'm just going to repeat, yeah, Sopranos good, gabagool. I'm going to give it an Italian out of 10. Like, I don't want to do that. I'll just wait until I'm done with the season and talk about it again. But Ozark, yeah, I will get to it eventually. I mean, it's not like I have anyone canceling Netflix, so like I'm completely fine. Ozark is going to be a Arrested Development seasons 1 through 3 are really fucking good out of 10.
They are. Fuck me, they're good. But we don't pretend about the seasons after, or we don't talk about the seasons after that.
There were seasons after.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ozark's very good. I don't have a rating for it. I'm gonna wait till I watch the final season, but it's good, so I like it a lot.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Okay, so games and TV shows are kind of out of the way. There's one left on each, but we both consumed them, so I'm gonna wait on those. We'll do them later.
Do whatever you like.
What's that?
Do whatever you'd like.
Yeah,
Whatever feels right.
So I'm going to jump into movies now. So let's talk about Baby Driver. Baby Driver, the Edgar Wright classic. So I've actually been getting a lot of heat for this on the Discord and elsewhere for saying this is my favorite Edgar Wright movie, but honestly, I don't care. And fuck it, it still is. I love this movie. I will admit I am a John Hamm simp, so anything John Hamm is in is instantly going to get bonus points from me. But I think overall this movie is just fantastic. It's a love letter to like car chases and all that kind of movies. The music in it is just so great. I think this is my second or third time watching this movie now. And yeah, this is my first time on the 4K cut. Fuck Sony and their terrible menus for the 4Ks. I'll say that again.
Yep.
But beyond that, this is just such a great movie. It's so much fun. It's exciting until the very end. I hope they don't do a sequel. I've heard that rumor. I don't want a sequel to it, but I think it's a great movie.
Okay, I'm looking at his discography, whatever, his filmography. I'm looking at all the movies he's directed, and I think maybe because I haven't seen A Fistful of Fingers, and because I know that the Sparks Brothers are documentaries, any other movie besides those, if you said that Edgar Wright movie was your favorite, I wouldn't even bat an eye. I'd just be like, yeah, okay. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim, The World's End, Baby Driver, Last Night in Soho. If that's your favorite one, yeah, okay. So in other words, Edgar Wright filmography is fucking hot if he can do that. Fistful of Fingers, I guess I should watch that just to wrap that up, and Spark Brothers as well. Uh, Baby Driver. Oh boy. Baby Driver, I think, is actually the first movie that I ever got to watch in Dolby Atmos. And that car chase at the beginning just had me just, oh. I really like Baby Driver. I love the music. Edgar Wright basically has a keen sense of sound design, and Baby Driver is that in spades. I love the characters. Lily James is just such a joy on film that you just want to be sure that she and Baby can end up happy by the end of it. Uh, it's just shot greatly. I haven't watched this movie in so long that I feel like anything I would say would be outside, just empty praise instead of going into specifics. But like, yeah, Baby Driver, incredible movie.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's just the way you're right, the way it's shot, the way it's edited, it's all just pristine. What's that lead actor's name?
Ansel Elgort. It's the only time
Thank
that
you.
we've ever found him compelling.
Yeah, and this is the interesting thing. I haven't really seen anything else he's in, but I know people fucking hate him. So I don't have this negative connotation towards him,
Same.
other than I heard he's a piece of shit, so that sucks. But
Mm.
yeah, this is the only thing I've seen him in, so I don't have any of that other touchstone. Now I'm finally going to be watching West Side Story pretty quick here, actually, if not today, tomorrow after we record. But that'll be next up on my watch list pretty quick. So maybe I'll finally have some other touchstone for why this guy sucks. But yeah, I always found that interesting. I think he's good in this movie. I don't have any issue with his character. So
Literally the only other movie that I've seen him in was, I think I watched The Fault in Our Stars, or maybe I watched some other teen shit that somehow I've intermixed in my memory as The Fault in Our Stars. Or okay, you know what? No, I do remember it because I remember what happens in it, and I'm not going to spoil it. I really want to spoil it, but like it would be more out of personal hatred that I'd spoil it instead of thinking that it's a bad movie. Like, it's fine, it's whatever. But yeah, just in that movie, it's like, oh, you are just every other teen heartthrob runoff that we've already seen. So yeah, So between just the two movies, that's enough for me to be like, yeah, you know what? Edgar Wright can just kind of make gold out of anyone. So that's where I'll stand on him as an actor.
fair enough. So yeah, overall, really enjoy Baby Driver. Still great. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck is what? Okay, I'm so confused. I was on his Wikipedia page, and in personal life, I will just read out the line. Where is it? Ansel Elgort's nude Instagram photo helped raise thousands for coronavirus relief. This man was slinging dick to save lives. I don't really understand. Whatever. I'm moving on. Okay, Baby Driver is going to be an 100 iPods that all probably have like 5% left and a whole bunch of different songs out of 10.
That's a good score. Although the battery life's a little questionable.
That's why he has all of them. Like, he just doesn't really charge anything. He just keeps getting new ones.
No kidding. Okay, moving on. Coda. I watched Coda. This is an Apple TV movie, original, exclusive, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Nominated for Best Picture, Oscar. It's about a girl who can hear, but is basically born into a family that all have they can't hear. They're all deaf. They all use ASL, American Sign Language, with each other, and she's the only one that can speak. Look, it's good. In fact, it's very good, but it's very safe. It's exactly what you would expect a movie to be like this. If you're into that sort of thing, you will like it. It's heartwarming. There's good performances. It's cool to see that perspective of things. It's well acted, everything like that. But it is utterly predictable the entire way through. From the very start, you know where it's going, where it'll end up, and where it eventually ends. I completely understand it because of that why it got nominated for Best Picture. Do I think it's Best Picture material? Absolutely not. But was it an enjoyable watch? Sure.
The Shark Tank, and for that reason, I'm out. .gif out of 10.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I would never recommend this movie to you. It's it's a 7 out of 10 for me. The only other thing I wanted to point out is, oh my god, Apple TV streaming is just incredible. This movie was 4K, Dolby Vision, all that shit again, and I cannot get over how stunning their streaming is. It is by far the best streaming service, which I hate because I fucking hate Apple, and they don't barely have any good movies on there. But Jesus Christ, their streaming is stunning. So yeah.
It will take a Coen brother to make me bend the knee to Tim Apple. So
Yeah, and I mean,
Coda is not going to be it.
yeah, Macbeth was fucking gorgeous. Better movie too. But yeah, okay. Hacksaw Ridge. Let's talk about Hacksaw Ridge now. Yeah. Ooh. So look,
we actually line up on this one.
Yeah. Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched this before.
Oh, I thought you meant you watched it this week, but okay.
Oh no. I mean, like, our opinions are going to line up.
Cool. So look, this is a tale of two movies for me. The first half of this I actually really enjoyed. Like, I thought it was great. It's Andrew Garfield being super charming. It's so easy to root for him in this movie. He basically gets to the war and the boot camp, and everyone's treating him like shit. And you're like, fuck you. He just wants to help. Like, fuck off. Stop being assholes. This is great. And then the second half just becomes war torture porn.
Yep.
And it's
how
just
about
like
that shot where that man just shoots up and yells and goes, ah! And then a bullet just runs right through him and just demolishes both of them.
It's ridiculous, man. Like, it's just the first half of this movie was there was so much subtlety in it. It was just so well made, and then it just all gets thrown out in the second half. Like, I know obviously it's a war movie and there's going to be war stuff in there, but you could have kept a little bit of the subtlety from the first half in the movie. And I guess that's what he's trying to show, is that war is horrible and all this shit.
No, come on, no. You're giving, oh my god, you're giving Mel Gibson way too much credit. Yeah. Like, that man is just like, he was holding it in the entire time. Like, don't be violent.
The hold it in meme. There we go again.
Don't be violent. Second half, be violent, demolish them, destroy them, pretend like they're Jews, demolish them. Like, Mel, you got canceled for that. Don't talk about the Jews. I'll talk about the Jews like I want. They killed Jesus. So, yeah, Hacksaw Ridge. Yeah, what you said. Yeah, what you said.
It's very rare we like completely line up on something, but I guess this is one of them. It's fine, by the way. Like, overall, like, the first half of the movie alone isn't enough for me to say, okay, this movie's okay. Like, I don't mind it. I didn't hate my time with it, but good Lord, that second half, man. So 3 out of 5. There you go.
I love seeing Hugo Weaving out of 10.
Oh yeah, he's in it too. He's very good. I like Hugo Weaving. He's good in this. Again, though, once he's gone, it's just war. So
this is the first movie ever in Passive Pixels history where we're just like, yeah, that.
Yeah. All right, now let's now that was we completely agree on everything on that one. So let's go to something where we're totally the opposite on. Ready or Not. I hated this movie. Oh my god, I did not enjoy this movie at all. Look, the movie, I'm okay. I understand they tell you right away this is just going to be a ridiculous movie. Don't take anything seriously. But the concept of this movie was just too fucking stupid right off the bat for me to even begin to remotely enjoy it. There were some fun kills here, I guess, but there are just better ways and many better people to have done a movie like this. I could not get invested in it at all. I did not enjoy this movie.
You're not supposed to be invested. You're just supposed to be.
If I'm not invested, what am I? I'm just cheering for every person that dies.
Yes,
it's not fun.
You like horror movies? Is that not what horror movies are?
This isn't a horror movie, though. This is trying to be horror action comedy. It's trying to be a bunch of different things. If it's a straight up horror movie and like it's just literally slasher after death, that's different.
No, but that's the thing. If you can already go into a movie and just be like, you know what? Nothing matters. Let's just have dumb entertainment. Let's go for it. Yeah, it's the bill. Let's just watch all these terrible people get killed in the most funny ways. Fuck it. Why not?
I think the problem is I've just seen so many movies that do this concept, but better. and that's just kind of where,
you
like,
you've seen horror movies.
Drag Me to Hell, for instance. Drag Me to Hell is about the most unlikable fucking bitch ever. And the entire movie, people are just dying left and right, and you just want her to die too. But it's done so well, and it's fucking hilarious that I appreciate the hell out of that movie. And Sam Raimi is a talented individual. He can make something like that work. Whoever directed this shit, nah, man.
No, you know what I think it is? It's the fact that you have horror bona fides. I don't care about horror, like,
That's
at all.
actually true too. That's
Like,
true too.
you
Although,
enjoy your schlocky horror.
so you're right, but Parrot liked this movie too, and he's a bigger horror guy than me even. So maybe I'm just fucked. I don't know.
We've established that years ago. I mean, that's honestly
That's true.
the button to win, but like, we don't press that.
That's true. That's true. You're fucked. Over. Argument over.
Hey, oh my God, what movie do you? Oh, hey, you like Prometheus? Yeah, you're fucked. Boom, button
Yeah.
pressed.
Over. Or Life, which we'll get to.
No, we're going straight into Life. Fuck it.
Oh,
We're
let's
gonna
go
mix
into
these
Life
two
then.
in.
Fuck it.
No,
Let's
God,
do it.
you're over
Life.
here talking about, oh, well, ready or not, oh, I've seen this thing better. Yeah, I've seen Life better done before. And you want to know what it's called? It's called whenever I ran over the Prey disc when I threw it in my yard, okay? All right? That little fucking thing, I kept looking at it. I was like, oh, yeah, I should play Prey. And then if I wasn't thinking about Prey, I was thinking about Alien. And you want to know what happened? Basically, watching this entire movie, I was never thinking about this movie itself. I was more of just thinking, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? Like, honestly, if you told me that Daniel Espinosa, the director, was just like, oh yeah, I really forgot to make a movie, so I just went on Wikipedia and copy and pasted the summary of something, and then no one noticed, like, and I still passed, fucking sick. You know what? I'm never going to give Daniel Espinosa any shit, okay? Because we all did what we needed to do in school, okay? We all knew that Chegg was there. I'm not going to say that I indulged. I'm not going to incriminate myself like that. Maybe other people did. That wasn't me, though. But Daniel Espinosa, the fact that you basically copied so much shit almost verbatim, made it a little bit worse, and then no one noticed, and you have someone like my co-host over here who actually thinks that it was good for you. You fucking really bamboozled people on this one.
Listen here. This
okay,
is
now
the
I can't wait for you to be like, this is stupid fun. Please go for it.
No, this man is about to direct Morbius. So first of all, show him some respect. Morbius is about to come out, the cinematic event of the year.
Hold on, I apologize. Morbius is going to be the Dune of 2022, okay? I apologize. Daniel Espinosa, we all know that Morbius is going to be cinema incarnate. We know that Morbius is going to come out, and then people in 2021 putting out the Oscars are going to be like, wow, we fucked up. Morbius sweep 2022. Let's go.
Okay, look, life is just dumb fun though, man. Like it's so much fun. Like, how could you not have fun? You're basically just going. You get this great twist
Ready
early
or
on
not?
with
Ready or
Ryan.
not?
No, ready or not's not fun at all. There's no stakes.
Life isn't fun.
There's no stakes. There are stakes in life.
I'm sorry. Okay, so apparently whenever they took away whenever they took Samara Weaving's Converse, you weren't a gasp, huh?
No, I was fine with that.
Both of these movies have no stakes. You just want all of them to die. No. I'm sorry. Just because you love Jake Gyllenhaal, that you don't want him to die.
Jake Gyllenhaal introduces stakes right away at the very beginning of the goddamn
You're over here
movie.
just like, if he shaves the beard, that's one character down. His beard is his own character, damn it.
I can't understand. I can't. I mean, I can't explain part of my love for life, but I don't know. I just think it's so creatively. Life feels like if you were to take a Twilight Zone episode and just make it into a movie. That's what it feels like to me, and I loved it. And yes, there is definitely alien influence to it. The movie, of course, I'm talking about Ridley Scott's classic Alien. It's influenced very heavily by Alien, but it's like, hey, I'm gonna create a love letter to this and make it my own thing. That's what it felt like to me.
Life is influenced by Alien the way that Passive Pixels is influenced by Last Stand Media podcasts.
All right. Well, anyways, Ready or Not's a 2 out of 5. Life is a 4 out of 5.
You know what I've realized now with watching Life is that you are much more of an Alien simp than you let on. Because between Prometheus and Life.
Oh, aliens in general. Yeah.
No. I mean Alien. Like, I'm talking
Oh, Ridley
Ridley
Scott's movie?
Scott is.
Yeah, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
love. Well, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Yeah, so
No, I
absolutely.
know, but like it's only now that with watching Life that I realize, oh my god, like it okay, we've talked about your love for Persona 5. We talked about your love for The Dark Knight.
Right,
we
right,
did an entire special episode of Batman, and yet
right.
somehow it just feels like the amount of love that you have for Alien is eluded so much that now between Prometheus and Life, it's like, oh, that's a weakness for you. Like that's just it. That's a point of weakness for you.
Yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, I do. Alien is
Wait,
one of my favorite
Returnal,
movies of all time. Oh, Returnal too.
Returnal,
Yeah, yeah, Returnal too.
Returnal, Prometheus, Life.
Yep.
There's so much evidence here that like Alien just influences you so much in what you like.
Yeah. Well, maybe more directors should do good stuff like that.
I mean, tell that to Daniel Espinosa.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe I'm gonna love Morbius.
Oh my god, Morbius is just gonna be Aliens ripoff.
I'm in.
Wait. Oh my god, no. Is Prometheus is obviously shades of Alien, obviously. So then now Morbius is going to be shades of
Prometheus.
Prometheus. So then now you have Coke, you have Diet Coke, and then you have uh,
RC
a
Cola.
cup of Diet Coke that's already drunk, but then you put more water into it, and now you have watered down
Oh,
Diet Coke.
okay. Then that I'm not gonna enjoy. So that'll be a. Yeah,
We'll
it's gonna
see.
be.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Watching Morbius is literally just Prometheus with Jared Leto spliced into it.
Yeah, give me your scores.
Oh God, you're right. Uh, Ready or Not is gonna be yeah. Let's just watch these people die. This is fun, and Life is gonna be damn. Ridley's lawyers are like falling asleep at the wheel right now.
All right, moving on. I'm gonna talk a bit about Persona. You haven't seen this though, right? Like you have it in your ready to watch list, right?
Yeah,
Just to be
it's
clear.
right there. But like
Yeah,
Elden Ring, man.
yeah, no, that's fair. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna talk too much about it. I actually do want to talk more with you about it, but I imagine you'll get to it soon. So we'll kind of
Mm.
do a brief conversation now. Look, I think this is a good movie. I think it's a very good movie. In fact, I just think it's a bit. I want to say it's critic bait to me. It's film bait. It's like, oh, if you don't like this movie, you're not a
Ooh.
true film historian. That's kind of how
Ooh.
part of it feels to me. The
You're saying it like a
opening to this
negative.
movie, the opening 5 to 10 minutes of this movie is maybe the most self-indulgent, pretentious trash I've seen in a movie in a long
Ooh.
time. I
Ooh.
fucking hated the start of this movie. After that's
Ooh.
done, everything that follows, it's a good little identity thriller. I liked it. I thought it was very good. I think there's enjoyable performances there. I think it's clear that this director is talented. He's very famous. I think this is the first movie I've ever seen of his. And there's obvious reasons for the praise. I totally get it. This was early too. This was like in the early '60s, I think. So there wasn't a lot like this at the time. But I mean, to me, it's very good, but I just can't go any higher than that. So some big hot takes on that one, and I'm sure once you see it, you'll have some thoughts on those. But that's my thoughts as
Ooh.
of right now.
Listen. This movie is from the '60s. Okay, so if this thing was pretentiousness in the '60s, ooh, baby, I'm gonna be eating. I mm, I wonder if Elden Ring, that's the thing. I played a little bit of Elden Ring yesterday. And can I pull myself away to watch movies for the next episode and not
No,
just have Elden Ring?
no.
Uh, maybe not, but like I still want to have hope that maybe I can. So you know what? Whenever this episode's over, I may go and watch Persona because I need to. Seriously, this list fell off. This list fell off a cliff after some point. So, and Persona, you said everything that makes me think. You know what? This one, I need some hard hitting shit to pull me from Elden Ring, and Persona might be it.
Yeah, I think personally you're gonna end up loving this, but I think even love or hate, I think there's a very interesting conversation. And to be fair, I don't think you can hate this movie. Like I said, I think it's very good. It's getting a 7 out of 10 for me. It's a good movie. I like it a lot. I would watch it again. But I think some of the hype for this movie is a little bit ridiculous. That's all.
Mm, I'm gonna give Persona. I bought the Criterion already out of 10.
Yeah, hopefully it's nice on that criterion. Okay, moving on. I Tonya. So I Tonya, look, a lot of fun. Like this movie. Margot Robbie, she's great. She's crazy in it. She's good stuff. The story this is based off of is just so batshit insane, and I actually remember growing up hearing quite a bit about it. So to see that this was the perfect movie to have an adaptation for, or story, I should say, to have an
Mhm.
adaptation for a movie, and it works just very well. Like I said, all the performances are great. It's just the ending is nuts. I mean, there's so much to like about this movie, and I gotta be honest, if nothing else, I don't think this movie's like cinema or anything. I don't think it's fantastic, but it was just really enjoyable, good time, and it's made me want to check out Cruella. It really has,
Oh
because
no.
that director did a good job, and I want to see what he did with that. So I'm gonna see that eventually.
This is the first time I've learned that that director did Cruella, which I'm fine. I am fine. Okay, going to I, Tonya though. That movie felt like someone said, "What if we just applied the Goodfellas style of filmmaking and then threw it on a story about Tonya Harding?" And you know what? Who knew that that was a peanut butter and chocolate combination? Because, oh boy, I, Tonya is so fun. That was during the Movie Pass days. I got to see that one in theaters. Oh boy, oh my god. Every single time that Mario Robbie just stops and looks at the camera and just starts explaining shit, I'm like, oh my god. Scorsese's lawyers probably are on the phone as well. There's a whole bunch of movies right now that they have their lawyers just ready on standby to call out on these people. And Hi Tanya is so fucking good. That's a movie that is one of those movies that was under the radar that I always love to champion because more people should watch it.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I never even made the Goodfellas connection until right now, but you're right. There's a lot of that kind of energy in it,
Oh yeah.
and it's done really well.
So yeah, I Tonya is gonna be a metaphorical oh, what did she even use
Or what?
to kneecap her?
Fuck. I don't remember.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. A metaphorical kneecapping to your sensibilities out of 10.
There you go. It's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. So good stuff.
Keep it going.
Uh, Swiss Army Man. Look, I
Woo!
actually love this movie. I was not expecting to love this movie. So this is our friend Paul Dano again here, with Daniel Radcliffe.
But did he get beaten up?
I mean, he's pretty fucking beat up in this movie, if not physically, emotionally.
10 out
So
of
I'm gonna
10.
count it. I'm gonna count it, man, because this guy goes through some shit in this movie. Look, it's the start of this movie is one of the most baffling starts to a movie I've ever had. Where I was just sitting there, I was like, I can't tell if this is amazing or if this is awful.
Mhm.
And I would say a good, this movie's like an hour. I think it's like an hour and 40 minutes long or something like that. And a good 15 to 20% of that is fart jokes,
Mhm.
and normally that's just a giant turnoff. And I mean, it's not great here either, but good lord, beyond the fart jokes, there is something very special with this movie, and it's fantastic. um Daniel Radcliffe is here too, and I don't really, you haven't seen this, right?
Correct. I'm
Yeah.
looking and it's on Showtime, which I lost access to not long ago. So, I'm sorry, movie.
But I still am not going to go into big spoilers then, because eventually you'll probably see it one day. And
Correct.
it's definitely the one you want to like go in and kind of make your own interpretations for. I will say these directors are doing another movie that's coming out this year called Everywhere Everything All at Once or something like
Mm.
that. A24 joint, looks
Oh yeah.
great, and this just made me even more excited for it. So great movie, totally caught me off guard, and I loved it. So it was a great movie. I'd give it a 4 to 5.
Showtime and A24 probably have a deal of getting their movies exclusively for streaming out of 10.
Oh, was that a thing? I didn't know that.
I mean, Waves and Swiss Army Man
Uh,
are both on Showtime, so I'm
yeah,
just like, it's a
fair.
pattern, maybe now.
Yeah, fair. Okay. Let's talk about Judas and the Black Messiah next.
Oh, oh, oh.
So this was a very well made movie, well acted, well shot. I just wasn't as emotionally involved and drawn to what was going on screen as I wanted to be.
It's
I
obviously because of the representation. You didn't see a Canadian on screen, obviously.
Obviously, I know it's a very important story, and it's a good one to tell, and it's great. Like, they do it in a very good format here. I think I was just expecting a little bit more, because I'd heard a lot of hype for this movie. Obviously, it was Oscar nominated for the fucking 2020 Oscars, which is a whole stupid separate side thing, but it was. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it was that good, but it was enjoyable, and it was definitely worth watching. And the guy's name, what's his name? Daniel.
Kaluuya.
Yes, Daniel Kaluuya. Kaluuya. Kaluuya? Yeah,
Kaluuya? I'm assuming.
sure. I really like him. I think he's a good actor,
Yes.
quite a bit actually. He was my favorite part of Get Out too, which I famously don't love that movie either. But he's very good in that.
You watch Get Out too?
The Get
Nope.
Out sequel, Get Out 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Nope.
Um, Nope. He's in Nope,
Wait, he is in
and
Nope?
he is in Nope. Yeah, he's a star. He's the star of Nope,
Oh god,
and
dude, all I've seen is just the poster of Nope with the cloud on
yeah,
it.
that's fair. Yeah, no, he's the star of Nope.
Oh wait, hold on. Just
So
because I've realized that we've said that often and people might be confused, the person who directed Get Out and directed Us, Jordan Peele, his next movie is called Nope, which honestly looks fucking hilarious on a poster.
Nope.
Nope.
Uh, nope. Yeah, so he's good. I like him in this movie too. He's great. A lot of good performances. Just didn't really butter my biscuit, as the saying goes.
Look, for some reason, black cinema, I need doses of it because eventually it just ends up being the same message that I have with gay movies, which is like, we're people too. We deserve to be respected. I'm like, yes, I know this. Can we get somewhere else now? And Judas and the Black Messiah kind of seemed like it was going to be another one of those. And I'm like, uh, if I hear anything good enough, I'll get to it. But for now, I'm fine.
Fair enough. So I'm going another 3.5 out of 5 on that one.
There. You know what? No, not yet. Not yet. Fuck it. I'll just take it since I'm already speaking. I'm gonna go tick tick boom.
Tick, tick, boom.
God, this movie is so fucking good, and I definitely love it above than what is actually on the screen. The music slaps. Andrew Garfield is just someone that you want to celebrate and you want to make sure that he gets everything he needs in this movie. All the acting is perfect. Um, Honestly, I don't even remember how long this movie is. All I know is that it felt like an hour 40. The entire story of this man just struggling to try to get his art piece out there. He does it and it's beautiful and it's everything he ever wanted. And that heartbreaking moment of like, yeah, that was it. That's it. What can you do next? Oh, literally passive is maybe the only creative thing that I have in me. And a large part of me is like, man, I want to be able to do something that creative in general, just something I can put out there. And seeing all of this probably had like this extra resonant note to me of like, oh my god, this is something that I'm relating to on a deeper level that I did not expect. Kind of that drive of wanting to create something. And then I haven't gotten to the part about creating it, but I assume that by the time that you create it and you put it out and then it's done and you just kind of have to accept that it's over, it's like, oh my god, that's an emptiness that uh, I am sympathizing with it for no reason because it's not exactly like I put too much effort into this. Um, but yeah, the movie is. I love this movie. I want to watch it again. I want to see if it ends up becoming one of my favorite movies of all time. But just finishing it, it feels like it's in strong contention for that. I want to add this here because it is tied into it as well. Genius, a Kanye trilogy. Watching this around Tick Tick Boom just helps make both of them stronger because Genius is really just all about how Kanye had to struggle to just get College Dropout out as an album because no one would let him. And seeing Kanye struggle to be an artist at the same time that Tick Tick Boom is talking about the entire art process, those two things just end up elevating each other. And Genius, a Kanye trilogy, the last episode, oh my god, that last episode for the first half is rough. Like, it is emotionally just, you, what I talked about Donda being someone that after she passed away, Kanye broke. Yeah, this episode kind of fulfills that. It feels like the second half of the final episode is a little bit too aimless, but then again, it is following Cootie, the director, and Kanye's friend. It is following Kanye's trajectory. Like, it is all things that when you think about, well, yeah, this is how life actually happened, it all makes sense of why it would be aimless. So I'm not going to knock it. I mean, in an 8-hour documentary, if your last hour is a little bit of a letdown, like that's okay. There's still other 7 hours of just incredible footage. But yeah, this is going to be the artist block. Genius, a Kanye trilogy is just an incredible documentary. Like Kanye, for someone who changed an entire medium, which, well, not even the medium, a genre, a person who changed the entire genre 4 times over with his albums, and someone had the foresight to recognize that this man was going to be who he became, is absolutely worth watching. And then Tick Tick Boom is just, oh my god, just as someone who wants to try to be creative but literally does not have it. I don't remember what I was watching yesterday or playing something, or oh wait, hold on, I was watching the Sopranos, and it was one of the characters, I can't remember his name, was writing a script, and I don't remember who it was. They're like, hey Edwin, you should write a script. I'm like, oh, trust me, I've thought about it and it doesn't ever happen. um, so Tick Tick Boom is ugh, ugh. I toss it to you.
Yeah, Tick Tick Boom's really good. So I just talked about that last week, obviously, but it was fantastic. So well made. Andrew Garfield, again, as always, a huge delight in that movie, and it's just it hits really close to home in a lot of ways. Obviously, because of my age and his age too, they're kind of line up in that movie. And it's just horrible how he basically fights and fights and fights to have success. Finally gets a little bit of a taste of it, and then he basically has to scrap it, do it all again. Fuck, motherfucker does it all again, makes one of the most popular things of all time, but dies and doesn't even fucking get to see the fruits of his labor. Awful, horrible. And it's just it's depressing, but the fact that he knows, he at least got to do what he wanted to do with his life and what he loved, and you take solace in that. And it's just a great story, and it's presented well. And fuck you, Netflix, please release some sort of 4K cut of it. Thank you.
That Netflix, I'll even take Blu-ray. Okay, that's how much I fucking love this movie. Please, I'll even just take Blu-ray. I almost bought what I think was a bootleg printed Blu-ray copy from Russia, and I'm just like, well, we're at war with them right now, so I don't think I'm going to support them on that one. But this, we're not actually at war with them. Shut up. You know what I mean. Nothing we say here is supposed to be taken seriously. Um, but yeah, I love this movie. I want this movie in my collection. Even if I don't really know where I want to put it on my favorites list, this is a movie that I wish I could put in my collection.
Yeah, just on the shelf in general. Fair enough. So
Honestly, the
yeah,
same thing for Genius. If they just put
yeah,
out a Blu-ray a case of the three episodes, I would buy that. Like that is the good thing is that technically would be a series, so I can definitely put it off to the side of the shelf instead of on the shelf. So woo, all right, you see how we're playing this shit. But yeah,
fortunately,
Tick Tick Boom.
I think that one's less likely to get a home release. Unfortunately,
Both of them, honestly, I think
yeah.
both of them are highly
Well,
unlikely.
Tick. I think Tick Tick could be saved by like fucking Criterion or something like that, because they do have a relationship with Netflix. But
Oh
you
yeah,
never
you're
know.
right. Oh god, it's not gonna happen though. Tick Tick Boom
Probably
is
not.
not exactly the fucking Irishman, So,
No, probably
uh,
not. Oh,
but
and
yeah,
Uncut Gems, but there's been a couple now, but you never know.
Uncut Gems was in Netflix.
Well, oh, it wasn't.
No, that was just straight A24. I mean, I
Okay,
know
well,
that Netflix
okay.
got in early on with
It
trying
was
to,
it was
get it on
it was
streaming.
okay. It was Canada. In Canada. You actually couldn't see that in theaters. It launched in Netflix exclusively, so it must have been a
Um,
Canadian thing.
it might have been distribution for Canada or
Yeah,
something like that. But
fair
at
enough.
least like in the US, it did come in theaters. There was no Netflix logo or anything like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, so Genius, a Kanye trilogy, is if you've heard any single album of his and you even just like it, listen to this. I mean, sorry, watch this. Like, it's that fucking good out of 10. And Tick Tick Boom is going to be Netflix. I swear to God, I will look into a disc printer at some point if you don't fucking give me a Blu-ray disc of this out of 10.
Fair enough. Tick Tick Boom is a 4 out of 5 for me, and Genius, a Kanye trilogy. Is I still want to watch it out of 10.
Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And
Yeah, I
I
got
think we overlap on 2 of them.
yeah. So I still got a lot. So I'm gonna get going here
Go.
again.
Go.
Underwater. Yeah, this movie sucked.
Hmm?
I'm just gonna basically say this and then end it. T.J. Miller has a line in this movie. Thank you. Oh, thank God for saving me, you beautiful flat-chested fairy. 2 out of 5.
That line out of 10.
Okay, moving on from that, we've got Belfast. Look, so here's another Best Picture nominee for this year, Belfast. A lot of mixed opinions I've been reading on this one lately, especially in the Discord. Some people seem to love it, other people not so much. I'm kind of on the not so much side. I think it's fine. Again, it's a personal movie for this director. A lot of it just feels safe to me, man. Like it just feels like it's a nice, warm little movie. You kind of know where it's gonna go. You kind of know it's gonna have a happy ending and everyone's gonna be fine. And I mean, that's kind of what we had with this one. Some really nice music in there, though. That kind of helps some things. The ending's kind of warm, and there's this like great little jazz kind of solo thing where they dance and stuff like that, and that's good. I just the fact that this was nominated for Best Picture is wild to me, man. Especially with how many movies we're missing from the cut. I don't get it, but it's fine.
Belfast, I saw this movie. I heard very positive things. I saw the trailer and I was like, ooh, it's black and white and it looks like it's going to be something very sad involving children. You know what? I'll watch this. And then I never did. When it gets to a streaming service, I'll probably try it out. Out of 10.
Perfect. So it's a 3 out of 5 for me. Unfortunately, don't have much more to say on that.
Hmm.
Let's go with the Ballad of Buster Scruggs next.
Mm-hmm.
This is some Cohen brothers good stuff here. This is an interesting one. So this is basically an anthology of different stories, all from the Wild West. So a little bit different from what they normally do. It was really good. I liked it. The start of this, though, like the first story they do, is so incredibly hot. It's kind of like singing and musical, and it just sets the tone. And unfortunately, nothing after that can measure up to it because it's so fucking good. But yeah, it's the first few stories in general are actually pretty good. And then it kind of hits a little bit of a lull, and they're not as fun as the first one, and it kind of ends on a weaker note. So what's here is pretty good. But like all anthology stuff, you're gonna get some good stuff and some not so good stuff mixed in. Very interesting from the Coens though. I've never seen them do anything like this, so that was fun.
I am probably never going to get to this movie because I would want to watch a whole bunch of Coen brothers before I watch any of their Netflix output out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair. 3.5 out of 5 for me. It ranks pretty low on my Coen Brothers list, but it was still good. So enjoyable.
Mhm.
Talk about Aladdin. I watched Aladdin. Yeah, I mean, still one of my favorite animated movies of all time. It's just comfort food to me. I've seen this movie so many times as a kid. I think I wore out the VHS on it. It was just
Oh.
that important to me. What really threw me for a loop though is shout out to Mr. Edwin for sending me the steelbook for this, the
Ooh.
4K Aladdin steelbook. I cannot believe how stunning this looked in 4K.
Yeah.
This is an animation from what 93, 92, and
Yep.
it looks just gorgeous in 4K.
Yeah.
I could not believe how nice this movie looked. Like it's insane.
So I want to mention something because I don't know if it's something that you would share in opinion. Watching this one and in The Lion King, those movies in 4K, it's so weird because they have like a bit more of an artifice to it. Where in 4K they look way more like drawings than like animation, and
Yeah.
because of that extra bump in like seeing the actual mistakes in there, the a bit of harder lining that they do on the edges, for some reason it looking more like that makes me love the movie more, and I don't know if that's just me or not.
I don't know if it made me love it more, but I certainly appreciated it, and I thought visually it was stunning. Like I loved seeing it like that. So yeah, I can get that for sure.
Like, no, the thing is, like, being able to tell way more that they're drawings instead of like being like, oh, it's just animation. Something about being able to see that personal touch in 4K is like, oh, I love the presentation more than I did. And ah, am I explaining myself now, or did I just make it worse?
No, I get it, and I agree. It's very cool, and I really want to get the Lion King on 4K now. I gotta try keep an eye out for that somewhere on eBay or something like that because yeah, that. I like the Lion King. I don't know if I like the Lion King or Aladdin more. I love them both, so I'd have to rewatch Lion King and really see which one I like more. But some of those golden age of Disney animation, man, like we'll never see anything like that again. It was so good.
Nope. No, we don't. Although there'll be a couple of people who, in like 10 or 15 years, will be like, bro, what the fucking Disney Renaissance? No, man, the real Disney Renaissance was the MCU, man.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. But yeah, I mean, what is there else to say about Aladdin? It's fantastic. The only other thing I wanted to really give a quick shout out to is the late great Robin Williams. So
Yes.
great as the genie here, and actually kind of a sad story. Basically, how he got fucked over by Disney on this. Which again, Disney can fuck themselves in general, but
Always.
specifically fucking over a nice man like Robin Williams and kind of lying to him and cheating him. They can go fuck themselves for that. So
I mean,
yeah,
literally, they told him, "Hey, we're no, it was it." Robin Williams like, "Hey, please don't advertise me that heavily. I have Hook, and that's the movie that I'm kind of have my face on. I don't want to have my two movies fight." And Disney just goes, "Eh, well, you know what? Okay, yeah, you won't do that." And then you basically have them go, "Yeah, the genie, Robin Williams, fucking show up." It's like, yeah, you know what? I want to talk about Aladdin. The music is just so fucking good. Oh my god, the
be
music
it
is so immaculate.
not
It is kind of comedic
your
that
day.
Jasmine feels so much like she was going to be girl power of the
Yeah,
90s, and she's
yeah,
girl power of the 90s for like 5 minutes, and then immediately after just becomes damsel in distress.
yeah. I
And
know.
honestly, that's okay because I mean the movie's called Aladdin. It's not called Jasmine, okay? It's it's called Spider-Man. It's not called Mary Jane. So honestly, it's just feels weird that they even did that in the first place. But hey, whatever. You gotta give your token where you can give it. Aladdin is just so much of a fun time. All you want to do is that you just want to root for Aladdin the entire time. Jafar is just perfectly hateable. Abu is great, and so is the magic carpet. But let's be honest, Robin Williams is the true star of the show. This man, every single scene he's in, he's just spitting gold. He just really is. But the good thing is that even though he's carrying the entire show on his back, it really doesn't feel like if you took him out, it would be bad. It'd be worse for sure, but everything else that's still there is really good. It's just that Robin Williams will take that shit an extra level.
Yeah, I totally agree, and you're spot on about the music. The music in this movie is all just so well done. There's so many iconic, catchy songs. You don't even realize how iconic they are until you hear them, and you're like, oh man, yeah, I remember that. And you start like humming along the tune or singing the words because you know them, and you're like, fuck, how do I know this? But I still do, and it's just such a perfectly made movie. It's so
Also, by the way, Aladdin in 4K has that Dolby Atmos track, and I still haven't watched it since I installed the ceiling speakers. So
I have to
I
get
don't
on
know
that
when
then.
I'll do that.
That'll sound
Ooh,
nice.
ooh, I'm telling you right now, a whole new world, man.
Oh.
These speakers are going to be a whole new world whenever I listen to that.
Yeah, shout out to Disney for the random Dolby Atmos tracks. No Dolby Vision, unfortunately, but they're pumping out some Atmos tracks at least on there.
They really hate Dolby Vision. They like
Yeah.
the only two movies they ever pumped out with Dolby Vision were the first printings of The Last Jedi and Black Panther. Just first printings because after they printed them again, they removed it. So yeah, thanks Disney, you fuckers. You could have just kept the same, fucking master disc, but nope. Nope. But yeah, Dolby Atmos, they've been really consistent on that with the 4Ks at least. Maybe one day they drop down to DTS HD and then I'll be really fucking pissed. But for now, at least Dolby Atmos is fine. So yeah, Aladdin is going to be make way for Prince Ali out of 10.
Yeah, 4 out of 5, just fantastic movie. Good stuff.
Hmm. All right, keep
Uh,
going.
so okay. Can I bundle two? We good to bundle two now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Anything that cuts time.
So I'm gonna bundle. Well, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know how much time it's gonna cut because I love these movies, but we'll see how fast we can get. I'm gonna bundle Memento and Vertigo together. And there are reasons for that. These movies, in my opinion, so we'll start with Memento, but I think both of these movies are two of just the finely most like they're just the most finest crafted experiences in terms of kind of going towards a mystery and drawing a conclusion I've ever seen, for different reasons in both movies. But these are just both so fantastic and directors at the top of their game in this sort of genre. Memento, I've talked about many times before. It's my third favorite movie of all time. I was lucky enough to get a steelbook for it finally. Not the most beautiful steelbook. It's actually pretty ugly, but it's still a steelbook, and I'm going to love it nonetheless. Um, yeah, this is just I've seen this movie so many times, and I've said it before, but every time I watch it, I pick up on something new, and it's just always never fails to blow my mind how much I love this movie, how much it draws me in with its mystery, and how just utterly fucking heartbreaking parts of this movie are. So I think it's just an incredible movie. I think it's a masterpiece, and it really is just Christopher Nolan filmmaking at a higher level than most people with this movie. It's just so well done.
Memento is going to get a special episode at some point. It just really depends. Like, I just know that movie is good enough that there's enough material there for a special episode. So I'm just going to say, God damn, is that movie really fucking good? And the structure is just brilliant. And yeah, Memento, good. What was the other movie again? Vertigo. Uh,
Vertigo,
I've got
yes.
I've got all 4 of those movies in 4K through a collection that I bought from $30 from Universal. So like Universal and their site Gruv, GRUV. Gruv is fucking great for deals sometimes. So yeah, I probably end up abstaining on that. Go ahead and go for Vertigo.
Yeah, so Vertigo. So it's my second time seeing Vertigo, and yeah, this is again one of the greatest movies of all time. Like, it just is. It's absolute perfection in the way it's made and the way it's crafted, all leading to its conclusion. Which again, I'm not going to spoil because you haven't seen it, but it's just. It's probably one of the most. It's probably my favorite Hitchcock I've ever seen personally. Now, there's still a lot I need to watch, but out of the ones I've seen, it's very good. It's a personal story. Like, you can definitely tell it's very personal compared to a lot of his movies. And beyond that, I have to say, so I got the 4K Steelbook for this from Zavi. Shout out Zavi. This is maybe bar none the best 4K cut I've ever seen. Period. It is like Apocalypse Now level of good, where the movie looks like it could have been filmed yesterday. The colors in this movie are gorgeous, and they're all helped by the HDR and everything like that. There's no Dolby Vision, but it fucking doesn't even need Dolby Vision. I cannot get over how stunning this cut is on 4K. So when you watch it, let me know, because it's going to be a fucking treat. Insane.
Noted. It's going to be a goddamn deal out of 10. Memento, special episode, eventually out of 10. Keep in mind, emphasis on eventually. Like, I just know it will get one whenever we watch one. Like, I've already put out enough idea of special episodes out in the ether. Oh, by the way, the Matrix episode, that's pretty much done. Like, it's going to come out probably around the 20th of this month, okay? March 2022. So, look, special episodes are a fucking mess, and I don't want to promise them. I'm just saying that I know that one has the high potential of getting one.
Fantastic. And yeah, so Memento, I could talk about that for days and days and days, but because I'm being fed a trinket that there might be a special episode in the future, I will withhold. 10 out of 10 though, masterpiece, love the movie. Vertigo is a 9 out of 10 for me. Incredible movie, must watch for any fan of those type of genres. So,
how many do you have left?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on my side as well, and we overlap on 2 of them. So I'll go ahead and go.
Yep.
I watched The Lost City of Z, the movie that James Gray directed before Ad Astra.
I wonder your thoughts on this. Nice.
It was fine.
Okay.
It was fine. Like,
damn.
I don't think it was anything. It wasn't mid. It wasn't anything where I'm like, damn it, I spent all this time on this. No, it's like, yeah, that was acceptable. I kind of never could really get a grasp of what the movie was trying to be. It did bait me for a second and made me think that it was going to be kind of the daddy issues in the jungle. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So literally James Gray did the same movie twice. This is sick. The Lost City of Z just kind of feels like it is a story about a man who just has an obsession and isn't really, recognizing what he already has and is just foregoing it to try to get to his final endpoint. I think the problem is that description I just gave sounds a lot like the way you can describe Whiplash, and Whiplash has some sick ass drums in it. So if you are going to do a movie about obsession, it's probably not going to work for me to some degree, because I've already called Damien Chazelle's 3 directed movies that he's done the Obsession trilogy. So if you're not going to have anything on that level, you're going to be in for a rough time. Lost City of Z doesn't have any problems with it, really. Like, outside of just me thinking, like, it's fine. Like no one's atrociously bad. It's not directly bad. Like, there's no bad writing dialogue. Oh, there was a hidden Tom Holland. I didn't realize that Tom Holland was in this. I feel like I learned that, but I forgot already. So whenever I saw him pop up, I was like, oh, hey, look, it's Tom Holland. And he's playing a child in this, so it's like, oh, this is perfect because I buy you as a child. It is funny though because they put Tom Holland in a jungle at some point, and I was like, oh wow, this actually feels somehow more like Nathan Drake than you did in all of Uncharted, and all it took was just putting you in a jungle in some fatigues. Wow, that's incredible. Lost City of Z is good. Honestly, it felt like it wasn't paced properly because it definitely started feeling its length at some point. um what else? Nah, that's probably it. Like Lost City is yeah, that's fine. That was definitely a movie. Good job on blowing it the fuck away with that Astra though afterwards.
Cool. I'll watch it too. It's on my watch list, so I'll check it out eventually. That's unfortunate; it's not as good as Ad Astra, but we'll check it out
I
at some
mean,
point.
that's a really high bar, at least for me. So,
Yeah, fair.
uh, yeah, Lost City Z is gonna be cannibalism out of 10.
I will watch it out of 10. All right, let's talk about Before Midnight. So yeah, I finally watched the last of the Before trilogy. Um, I've actually I okay, how do I say this without sounding too controversial? I really love the movie. I think it's great. I gave it, I think, a bit of a two. I was a little bit too in the moment with my score on it last night, so I've come down a bit. But I still think it's a fantastic movie, and it's still my favorite of the trilogy for sure. I think the series it's just not generally what I want out of movies. It's just not gonna ever be my favorite thing ever because it's hard to hit those specific. It doesn't hit what I'm looking for personally. The incredible dialogue and stuff like that is all great, and I love it. And especially in this movie, I like it the most because I feel like you get a real. It feels real. It feels raw. You kind of
Yeah.
this is the most vulnerable look you're getting at into these two. They're finally together, but they kind of hate each other at points, or she hates him, and it just everything looks like it's falling apart. And then you get this really beautiful ending, so which is perfect, and I wouldn't change a thing. Not a thing. But yeah, it's it's a fantastic movie, and it's definitely, like I said, it's my favorite of the three for sure. Um, and yeah, I really enjoyed my time with it and the series in general. I can't say it's my favorite trilogy of all time, but it is one of the most ambitious trilogies I have ever seen. And full credit to Rich and Linklater for for not only doing that and having the foresight to do something like this over the course of 30 years, but managing to pull it off. That's pretty fucking incredible.
uh 18 years, if we count from before sunrise all the way to before midnight, at
Yeah, I
least
don't know.
from release dates.
Yeah, fair.
um Either way, shout out as well to Julie Delpy and Ethan Hawke because beginning with Before Sunset, they were helping with writing credits for figuring out who those characters are because Richard Linklater just kind of realized that these two actors know their characters well enough that he's like, well, if I write something wrong, tell me why I'm wrong. And so they were able to get writing credits out of that as well. Um, Ugh, there's nothing I can really say that I didn't say on that special episode that I did however long ago. That's just more detail, honestly. But if I had to talk about it right now, God, just Before Midnight is so good. It feels like the most real late term relationship that I've ever seen in a movie. And then again, like that's the focus of the movie. So like if you don't have that, what else do you have? It is one of those things that it understands what the little moments are in a relationship, and there are many things that even just in something where they've been married and they already have two kids, there's stuff in there that I can see from them in my relationship that I'm just like, oh my god, like they understand these small things that happen whenever you're in a just a long-term relationship with someone. And the fight at the end eventually becomes like you want to put on Pokemon and close your door and listen to whatever edgy music
Yeah.
you have because you're just like,
Yeah.
mommy and daddy are fighting. I don't think I need to be here right now. I'm gonna go become a Pokemon master instead. Like the final part of that movie is just heart wrenching and you just don't want to be there. But the ending of that movie just kind of reminds you that you will just always have that person in your life that if they are important enough, they will still be there regardless of how badly things get blown up. As long as you know they don't really fuck each other over intentionally, and it's more of just like misunderstandings. If there's still enough care between the two people, they'll figure it out in one way or another.
Yeah, I totally agree with all that. I think the last half an hour or so of that movie in particular is just exquisite. Like you said, you just don't want to be there. Like you're watching this, it's like, oh man, this is horrible. I don't want to watch this, honestly. And
But you
it's
care about
tough.
those characters, and you're like, I just need to be sure that they're gonna be okay.
Yeah, you do, and honestly, you're not sure until that very kind of final bit where you're like, okay, there's still love there, and that will probably be enough. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But in that moment, there's still at least enough care there that it's not completely over, and that's all you need. Just a little bit of hope sometimes. But yeah, it was beautiful, and like I said, I actually do think when there's another Criterion sale, I'll probably end up grabbing them because they're unique enough movies that I wouldn't mind watching them again or even showing them to people. So definitely a series I'm glad I watched. And yeah, just they're all very good films, if nothing else.
In the description, I'm gonna have to write that we probably spoiled this movie.
Yeah, we
um,
totally did. I didn't even realize that, but
no,
yeah,
it's just like I try to keep it vague, but then you kind of spilled it a little bit when it's like, oh yeah, you know that there's love. There's like, well, fuck, that's that kind of.
spoilers.
Whoops. Look. If anyone listened to this and you didn't see the description, I'm so sorry. Like
Yeah,
I am legitimately sorry on that one. I would want to censor it, but it's part of the conversation. So I will put it at the very top of the description, though. I may even throw it into the title too, just to be sure.
yeah,
Okay, Before Midnight is gonna be a fucking Kino out of 10, and that score goes for all three of them.
perfect. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. Really great movie.
So from here, Babylon's Fall demo. I took a small break between
Well,
Elden Ring to just try this out. What the fuck is this? What in
from
the
Before
very
Midnight
fuck
to
is this?
Babylon Falls demo.
Jesus Christ. Assassin's Creed 2 on the PS3 looks better than this, and that's not exactly a good looking game. You know what? No, Assassin's Creed 2 on the PS4 with its botched port looks better than Babylon's Fall. Babylon's Fall looks like shit. It looks like, you know how occasionally whenever there's popping in the game, it has like different phases of popping in. This game looks like it got to like the first phase and then just gave up on trying to pop in any other detail. The game feels like shit. Honestly, this game probably feels bad, right? But the fact that I played it after Elden Ring, like an Elden Ring session, it's like this is actually even come off even worse. The game is terrible. The combat feels like Platinum is supposedly known for their combat. What the fuck is this? What is even going on here? I made it like 30 minutes into this before I was just like, this is no, I could be playing Elden Ring right now. It was one of the conscious moments in my life that it's like, this entertainment medium is actually wasting my time. Whatever little time I have in my life is being spent on Babylon's Fall demo. Most of my time with this demo was trying to fucking sign into the Square Enix account I created probably in 2013 because of fucking Tomb Raider or something like that. And most, like, seriously, it doesn't even just send you an email and let you do it on your phone. It fucking opens up the web browser on your PS5 to have to sign up through that. Like, it literally opens up, it's a mouse icon. They couldn't even get a fucking menu into the game to let you reset your shit. Also, stop making people sign into your shit to play your games. Holy fucking shit. Are you not making enough money from microtransactions that now you need to get my personal data too? Fuck off. Honestly, I should have never fucking played this game. The demo, whatever. Honestly, even the demo was regrettable. I should have never wasted the fucking bandwidth on downloading this shit. Out of 10.
Yeah, I ain't playing that shit out of 10.
Smart move. Smart move. Go for it. You're next.
All right. Speaking of shit I didn't enjoy, let's talk about Lost in Translation. Yeah, here we go. Look, we'll keep it somewhat brief here. I just don't like this movie. I watched it a second time because you watched Life, so I was like, I will give this a fair shot. I gave it as fair a shot as I could, and to be fair, it's not as bad as I said it was originally. I would walk around quite often saying I hate this movie and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's not. It's not. That's not true. It's just boring for me. It's slow. It's utterly pointless. I feel like uh, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand why I'm supposed to care about these people. Yeah, they're both in Tokyo going through some shit times right now, and they need somebody, so they find each other for that specific period of time, and I guess give each other a little bit of joy, and then that's it. They're just gone again, and that's life. And if that's supposed to be entertaining, then God help it, I guess it is. And I did not enjoy. And then the only other thing I really want to rant about is, you know what? You want to talk about ambiguity being shit? Well, here you go. This
No,
fucking movie can
fuck you,
fuck
fuck you,
itself. No, it
fuck
can
you,
fuck
fuck
itself
you,
for the
fuck you,
ambiguity at the
fuck
end
you,
with their little
fuck you.
goddamn
That's not
message.
ambiguity.
They didn't need it in there.
There's
They
no
didn't need
ambiguity.
it in there. They could have
There's no
just
ambiguity.
he could have just leaned into her ear and whispered and said, "Hey, I really enjoyed our time together."
There's no
And then there's
ambiguity.
no fucking ambiguity whatsoever.
There's no ambiguity. The
There
only
is.
ambiguity
You
is
don't
in
hear
their
what they
kid.
whisper.
No, that because yeah, it doesn't
That's
matter
the
what they
ambiguity. That's
whisper.
the ambiguity.
There is no, it doesn't matter what words are said. All that matters is
If it
that
doesn't matter, don't do it.
you don't. Oh, okay. So then we have a whole bunch of other movies wherever the conversation and the dialogue is cut out, and you just see them yelling. Like, you don't even hear the words. It's okay. No. You see them embracing. So all you know is that everything that needs to be said has already been said in that hug.
Hogwash. Absolute hogwash.
You know what? You just like her more, okay? You like her more, and I like Lost in Translation. I'm sorry that you got Spike
true.
Jones in the divorce, okay? Whoops. Sorry, I got Sofia Coppola in the divorce. Whoops.
Hey, I'll take Spike Jones any day, man. Spike Jones. Have you seen? You wait till you watch Adaptation. You're gonna regret saying that.
Look. Okay, he has Jackass. Okay, I've seen Jackass. All right.
Yeah, but you haven't seen Adaptation yet. A fucking great movie.
Look, I still doubt that adaptation. Well, okay, you know what? Let's see if I eat my words. I think I'm gonna like adaptation less than I will like Lost in Translation, because Lost in Translation is just kind of like that. I mean, it's literally in the title. Like, that's what I fucking love. I love that it's just kind of like this quiet, just I don't really know. It's almost like the ennui is that the right word I can use? Is ennui
Ennui? Like, I don't know what you're trying to say.
yes, ennui is the right word that I can use here. That movie is basically ennui put into a movie. Now, if you need to see what ennui is, I will drop the link here.
Yeah,
There
I
you
do.
are. Ennui is going to be ENNUI.
Oh, yeah, that's me watching that movie.
Oh, fuck you.
Very apt.
Fuck you. Ennui is like, just, it feels like there's this emptiness in you, and the movie just pulls that out of you. Ah, you are empty on the inside, damn it. How am I more empty than you to love Lost in Translation?
Oh, I don't know, man, but yeah, I was definitely suffering from ennui watching this fucking shit. Should have called this movie Ennui. Would have been more apropos.
Lost in Translation is basically ennui. Like, that's literally, it's ennui made into cinema.
Basically, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's not as bad as I remember it being. I don't hate this movie anymore. I actually don't. Just middest of mids for me. I don't get it, and I mean, part of it is I'm honestly not a huge Bill Murray fan to begin with.
I mean,
So I
neither am
think that's
I.
part.
I like
I
Bill
think
Murray, but like, I haven't
yeah,
seen enough to
I
be
like
like,
Bill Murray too, but this just does nothing for me. I mean, I love Scarlett Johansson, but this I don't know, man. There's just not enough here for me to think it's a good movie. So
I'm wondering how true it is that I like weird friendships. Now, I wonder how
yeah,
true that is, because Bill
yeah. I
Murray
mean,
and Scarlett Johansson.
yeah, they definitely form a weird bond in the movie. So I mean, there's that. But yeah.
Lost in Translation is, I already bought a fake Criterion case to put it on my shelf because I don't like the normal cover. Out of 10.
Couldn't make the real Criterion out of 10. Two
It's
2.5.
Magnolia.
Yeah, fine. True.
You want to do
Yeah,
that?
yeah, true. 2.5 out of 5.
All right, I'm forced. No. I'm not going to force the hand yet. Brady Bunch movie. I watched it again. My parents were over. I didn't really know what to put on, and I was like, you know what? I'll just watch this again. I am glad I did not buy the Blu-ray, because rewatching it, I was like, this isn't as hitting as hard, because I feel like maybe the surprise of finding out that it's a 21 Jump Street like remake, I guess, of taking what came before and then kind of making fun of it, but still holding it a little bit in reverence. The shock of that, I guess, wears off on the second time I watched it. But at the end of the day, God, the innuendo in the Brady Bunch movie is still so fucking peak comedy writing. Like, there's no reason that all the innuendo jokes that they do are just perfection. The Brady Bunch is still fucking hilarious to laugh at in this movie. It's still really good. It's still highly recommended, but it really just does miss the shelf because it did falter a little bit on a second watch without the surprise. And the second movie is still fun, but both of them together, I don't think are enough for me to want to put them on a spot on my shelf. But I will still happily recommend them as much as I can.
Interesting. I thought for sure this would actually make your shelf. So
I thought so too.
interesting, interesting, interesting. Well, I still want to check it out because I've basically confirmed in my head that I actually haven't seen this movie. I think I made it up. So
No,
I'll watch it at some point. But yeah,
I will still tell you though, like that first watch though, it's still totally worth it because the surprise, even hearing it's good, it's subversive in the way that it handles its comedy. It's one of those things that even when you hear it, it's like it's the Brady Bunch. How can you? Oh, look, they did it. So, yeah, still highly recommended. I'm going to give it a I'll wrap your package any day of the week out of 10.
nice. I'll give it a. I'm going to watch it eventually out of 10.
Okay, so I think we only have two left now, or do you
No, I
have
got
three?
one more. Yeah, I got one more
You
before we
wait,
do the
really?
shared
There's
stuff.
wait. Did you watch Chernobyl last time?
No,
Oh, so Chernobyl's your last one.
no, I've got three left. I said three. No, I'm
Oh, you
sorry.
got three.
I meant no. I meant I have one more than you still. I have three. So
Oh, okay. Go for it. Go for
yeah.
it. Knock that
So
one
yeah.
out
So
because the last two will overlap.
yeah, exactly. So 12 Angry Men. Look, what a
Oh,
masterpiece. What an
yep.
absolute fucking masterpiece. Scorsese meme, cinema at its finest, .jpg.
Yep.
This movie was so fucking good. So basically, I was like, hey, look, this movie's actually pretty. So, okay, this is before the Criterion flash sale happened. Zavi was doing a separate Criterion sale, and I could have got 12 Angry Men for, I would actually would have been more. So I'm glad I didn't buy it that day. But basically like, yeah, you can get, it was like 20, I think it was like $30 or something, and you could get the Blu-ray for it. And I'd heard a lot of good things about this movie. It's ranked as like number 9 all time on Letterboxd's top movies of all time list. So I was like, okay, let's watch it. It's on Tubi, which isn't the greatest place to watch it. You got to deal with the
Nope.
ads, but I was like, fuck it, it's free. I'll watch it and see what I think. But holy shit, like what a perfectly made film. Like literally just from start to finish, the way it deals with the sensitive subject matters for the time that are still relevant today. The acting, Henry Fonda in this is so fucking good. Every performance is just completely nailed, and it is just, oh, I can't gush about this movie enough. It's perfect. It's nearly perfect.
12 Angry Men I watched in high school. There was a project that an English teacher, Mrs. Fowler, which honestly, Mrs. Fowler, shout out to her. She was fucking awesome. She was an English teacher that everyone hated, but that's because they were really too stupid. So, like, she made fun of the stupid kids. So you kind of could see the pattern of who didn't like her. I was in the uh, pre-AP or AP. I don't remember anymore. It was advanced placement AP. Pre-AP or AP in some of her English classes, and she liked the smart kids a whole lot more. So she was really cool with us, and she would shoot the shit with us. One of the projects that she gave us was studying literary analysis, and she was like, "I need you guys to do it for movies." And I think one of the rules that she had was choose something that was, I think, before 1970. And 12 Angry Men was actually one of the choices I made. I think I chose Inception, 12 Angry Men, Fight Club, and I think there's a fourth one that I'm not remembering. But I decided to go for psychological thriller. And 12 Angry Men was a movie that it was just like, oh my God, yeah, that's that fits in the category of psychological thriller enough. It's basically just all these characters that are bringing their own mental state into it. And oh my God, fuck, I wish I still had that essay. I wonder if I have it on a hard drive somewhere, but I don't remember what argument I made for it. All I know is that watching that movie and seeing the pressure cooker that all those people are in this case, and how it feels like the room itself starts shrinking throughout the movie as you keep going, they start becoming sweatier. Like that movie is just such a pressure cooker of people and different opinions, and how slowly the room starts changing for the case as more info comes out. Man, 12 Angry Men is such a fucking achievement. And I, okay, now I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that this can never be remade, and part of me is wondering, oh no,
It was remade. It was.
no,
Yeah,
why?
it
Wait, hold
was.
on, James Gandolfini? No, not James.
Jack Lemmon. There's actually a
No.
lot of really good actors in it. I'm kind of morbidly curious, but yeah, it
Okay, you
was.
know what? Never mind. Fuck it. Do another remake and then just pull everyone. I need fucking every big name to fucking impressive actor you can pull, okay?
Nice. We'll
Pull.
get Zac Efron and
Oh
Justin
no.
Bieber.
No. Okay, never mind. Get Eminem to do 12 Angry Men. They're all angry.
Oh God.
12 Angry Men is really fucking good. Never remake it, but since there's already a precedent for it, fuck it. Every 40 years, just grab all the greatest actors that you can get and just toss them in there. Throw in Jack Nicholson. Uh, who else is an aging actor? Throw in Robert De
Robert De
Niro.
Niro. Yeah. Al
Yeah.
Pacino.
Oh my god, just really make a 12 Angry Men, like make that a remake where after every time you do it, every single aging actor is wanting to do it because it becomes a badge of honor to be like, yeah, we're one of the best. Like just make it like a Dirty Dozen kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, 12 Angry Men, really fucking good, incredible movie.
Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I snagged that for the Criterion right away. I was like, yeah, that's definitely going in my collection. Just just an absolutely like nearly perfect movie. You want to talk about perfect movies? That's basically as close as you can get. Just amazing, amazing movie.
It's 12 Angry Men and then it's Back to the Future one. Like that's
Yeah, yeah, true. So
um,
5 out of 5, perfect movie. Love it.
okay, so at this point we
Yeah,
have
we're just
just
crossover.
yep. Do you want to do gaming or do you want to go to Pripyat?
Cinema goes last. So
Okay, all right. GT7. Cargo vroom vroom. Do you need anything other than cargo vroom vroom? I've been doing. I haven't been playing that much because Elden Ring has just taken over my life and I'm ruined. I'm never going to be able to financially recover from the time I'm losing to Elden Ring. But GT7, I've been playing it a little bit. I've done pretty much the few races that they make you do, and then as soon as they opened up the license track thing, I've just been spending my time with that. I already got gold on all the B licenses. I really haven't done the A licenses yet because every single time I turn on my PS5, before I know it, I suddenly teleport and I'm playing Elden Ring. I'm like, oh god, I just lost 2 minutes of my life, booting this in. I don't know what happened here. But GT, very pretty game. The music is a fucking bop. It is very fun. I don't know about microtransactions. Dorian, what has been your time with GT7?
well, car goes room and I go zoom. It's been a good time, honestly.
Vroom,
There's
vroom, and zoom.
rooming and zooming in cars. And hey, look, I didn't honestly expect to really like this game all that much. It's been a long time since I played a racing game. I think honestly, the last time I really got into a racing game was the original Forza Motorsport on Xbox 360. And then before that, it would have been like Gran Turismo 2 for the original PlayStation. So
God
it's been a
damn.
long time, but this is definitely the kind of game I needed right now. It's nice and casual, but fun to play. It's perfect bait or just in between stuff between Kirby. So it's great. Gorgeous visually, like you said, just a beautiful looking game. I actually am playing it in performance mode. I should check out the ray tracing on the replays and see how shiny that looks. But it sounds amazing, like the sound design and just the music in general, very good. And then you mentioned it, but man, these license tests, fuck some of them, holy fucking shit. I got
Mm.
gold for everything in B, everything in A, and then everything in IB except for the final test. And I've been
Holy
stuck on it
shit.
now for so long. It's just so difficult. And I know it's only going to get harder. So that might be where I tap out now because I'm like, look, I'm not going to spend the time getting gold for everything in this. I'm going to move on eventually. So I might just work on trying to at least pass all of them. But goddamn, it gets stupid, like really
Okay.
hard.
Were they hard on B for you as well?
Um, N I'm trying to think. Not most of them weren't. I'm trying to think if the last one was, or if like what the last two were. I don't think so. Like I think everything in B, it would take me usually a few tries, and then I would usually get it on like the fifth or sixth try. Um, it was really not until A, and then some of those latter half ones in A, especially A9 and A10, where I was actually stuck on them for like an hour or two.
Your boy was struggling on B. I'm not gonna lie. I think part of me
Yeah,
is because I
God
was
bless.
driving manual.
Oh yeah,
That's the
manuals would be
reason.
harder too.
Yeah, and then when I dropped over to automatic, it was still difficult because my brain was already wired to
Yeah.
shifting gears. I was like, okay, this isn't between a rock and a hard place here. Knocking those licenses out, we're like, yeah, that was a bit of a trial. And then I see that there's a whole bunch of more licenses. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah,
fuck.
good luck with A, man. Some of the A tests are just really hard, and then once you get into IB, like IB International B wasn't that bad until like the last couple, and then this last one on International B is just a fucking nightmare. Like it's so difficult. So I don't know. It's only gonna get worse
I
too.
I hate looking at these license tests because I'm just like, man, if you actually put me behind a car, I feel like I could do this. Like I feel like I could. Like I've pulled an e-brake before while taking a fast drive. Like I can do this. I'll be okay. Then translates it to a controller. I'm like, fuck. Like seriously, like just let me drive in second gear the entire way. I can do this shit. I swear.
Maybe you just need the wheel, the actual gameplay wheel. That'll help.
You see, those are the microtransactions that get you. It's like, you bought the game, now you had to buy a wheel for $200 and do better. Those are the microtransactions that get
Yeah,
you complaining. Why doesn't Jim Ryan just buy me the wheel, huh, fucker? He bought me
yeah, no
Uncharted.
doubt. To speak on the microtransactions though, they haven't been too bad for me. Like I can see if you're actually a hardcore player of this game, it could probably affect you. Like it definitely does seem a little bit stingy with the credits at points, but it's never going to get to a point where it affects me. Like I just won't spend money on it. I'll get the cars I need to. They have these weird like roulette kind of gotcha tickets you get, but like I don't think you can buy them or anything like that. So I mean, it is what it is, but I'll never give them more money, so I don't care.
Why do you think that it would be the hardcore who'd be affected more than the casual? Because I feel like the casual person would be like, I want that car. Oh, wait, I have to play? And then they drop money. So why do you
I
think
feel
that'd
like
be the hardcore?
I feel
Yeah.
like the casual people aren't really going to care that much. Like they might want one car, but you get quite a few credits at the beginning. So I feel like they'll
Oh,
have the money to get that car if they want. Whereas the hardcore people, they're actually going to be playing and collecting these cars and wanting to get
got
more
it.
and more. And you're going to get to a point where you're going to be out of money. And you're like, oh shit. And you do earn money at a pretty slow pace in this game. So I feel like they would be the ones that would probably get affected a little bit more once you get towards like the end game sort of thing.
That makes more sense. So yeah, GT7. A large part of me is thinking, well, if I just keep hitting Elden Ring, at some point I'll get really good at it, right? And then I'll be able to beat it, and then move to GT7. But Elden Ring looks like it's the game that never ends. And honestly, I'm kind of impressed because there's a whole bunch of shit in the game where it just feels like, oh, it's not even just repeating stuff that this game never ends. It literally is just that this game just keeps having new tricks at every single fucking corner you turn. It's like, oh no, this game is never gonna end. Thank God. But also, So yeah, GT7. Honestly, congrats to GT7 for even being able to pull me in a different direction from Elden Ring, because I feel like that's already a big enough compliment. But yeah, GT7, big fun, big rooms. It sounds great in the theater room. Steelbook is hot. Fuck you, Jim Ryan, that you knew that the PS4 code inside the Steelbook would be something that people would probably give out. So I gave out my code, only to find out that you can't pay the $10 upgrade fee through that code. So thanks, Jim Ryan, you fucker. You actually thought this one through.
I actually didn't even realize I could give out my code, but I actually kept it because I wanted the extra credits anyways. So I was like, I'm just gonna claim this for the extra credits.
I was thinking I could lose the credits in the soundtrack if I could literally just give the whole last game to someone else. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
you know what? Sure, why
that's
not?
fair. You're a nicer human being than me, shockingly.
Eh, I
Um,
like certain people, and I was like, I'll just give it to them. Like here you go. Um,
yeah, no rating for me yet. Very fun
it's
though.
a big shame about Jim Ryan.
I'm with you. Great steelbook, by the way. Gorgeous, gorgeous.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this a vroom vroom zoom zoom zoom, and featuring Idris Elba out of 10.
Yeah, good stuff. No rating yet, but I will continue to play it out of 10.
All right, last one. Chernobyl, take me.
mm, mm, Chernobyl. So look, let me explain to you how good this is. So I got Ed to get this for me because it was on a good deal in Amazon America specifically, 4K cut of it. He bought it for me. I watched one. I think it was one. It might have been two episodes, one or two episodes of it, and I was like, "Oh, this is so good! I want the steelbook now." So I bought the steelbook again because I found it. And it was like $40 for the steelbook. So I've invested a lot of money into Chernobyl, but it is worth every penny. It's outstanding. The first three episodes specifically of this series might be some of the best just miniseries television stuff I've ever seen. It's so well made, so well put together, and it is scarier than most horror movies without trying to be a horror movie. It's absolutely fucking terrifying at parts of it. I mean, most people should know the story of Chernobyl by now and what happened there, and just seeing it brought to life and just the absolute incompetence it took to get to this point is horrible. It's just terrifying, like how many different ways this could have been avoided if anybody had some fucking common sense, and nobody did. But yeah, it's so great. It's incredibly acted. Besides Barry Keegan, fuck you. There's maybe the last two episodes I feel aren't quite as good. They're still very good, but they're just not of the same cut as those first three episodes were. But I mean, overall, this is a fantastic series, and just another example of why I think HBO does miniseries specifically better than anyone else. Just amazing stuff.
So my best friend and I watched the first two episodes because I feel like those first two episodes, if you just watch those alone, they are a perfect horror movie about Chernobyl, and it is a fucking terrifying piece of work where there are two horrors. One is the invisible horror of radiation, and the other one is government incompetence and how people who probably should have your best interest do not have your best interest. Chernobyl is a fucking masterclass of. I was about to say movies because I'm still trying to think of those two episodes as that, but like we're just gonna call it masterclass in filmmaking. Honestly, we're just gonna keep it broad like that because from the way that they block the shots, from the coloring, the lighting, the acting, the writing. Like I maybe said writing again, but honestly, like there are no characters so far in like the first two episodes, but that's okay because all of the show is the plot, so that's okay. It's not like I need to really connect with the central committeeman Sherbina and like his struggles. Like, no, these are just characters that are taking us through the story of Chernobyl, and that's okay. But Chernobyl is just so fucking good at making you feel this immense amount of dread. And it is a big shame that my 4K player decided to kill itself and kill Dolby Vision because we watched the first two episodes in just HDR10, which I actually kind of noticed it because this show is a little bit darker. So watching it in just regular HDR instead of Dolby Vision, I was like, oh man, these dark scenes can probably be a little punchier. And it makes me kind of sad. I got a new 4K player, so that probably shouldn't happen for the last three episodes, but those first two episodes being watched like that, it's a really big shame. But the good thing is that I don't have the same rule for TV shows that I do have for movies, so Chernobyl will be staying in the TV side pot collection. So Chernobyl, fucking incredible, honestly. It kind of makes me sad that HBO Max still doesn't exactly have 4K rollout. Thankfully, they've upped the bitrate on the way that their streaming shows look now, so it's not so painful to be like, oh, yeah, I guess you can watch it in HBO. Now it's like, yeah, you can watch it on HBO, but you should probably watch this in 4K if you can. But yeah, this show is just really fucking good.
Yeah, and keep in mind too, HBO does release a lot of their content in 4K. So the fact that this
Small
is even
amount.
on 4K to begin with is, I think, indicative not only of the quality of it, but actually how much this benefits from 4K because it really does. Like a 4K OLED on this guy with Dolby Vision, you are getting some dark fucking scenes, and it looks fantastic. Just
Dude, I'm
so
telling you,
good.
when that alarm goes off in this room with the ceiling speakers, fuck, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh boy. That's it just fills you with dread. And every single time that they would just have lingering shots of the air and that deep bass line kicks in, it's just like, oh, where they're with them. Oh god, the sound design in this shit is so fucking hot.
Yeah, it's just perfectly made from that perspective. And I gotta say, I know you'll, I know
No,
you'll
I
probably,
know we're gonna get there. I know we
y-
were gonna get there, so go for it. Like just
yeah,
take it there.
I'll go there now. I have way more faith in the Last of Us TV show now after having watched this than I did before. This guy managed to just make this thing, which is a piece of art in my opinion, and it's grounded and it feels real and it's horrifying. and I'm kind of excited now to see what he manages to do with The Last of Us. I really am.
With Uncharted and The Last of Us, what we know is that Naughty Dog, they can nail the look and the atmosphere, but the problem is that both of those things hinge on the characters, and I don't know if this man knows what a character is. Does that sound harsher than I want it to sound? Yes, but we're talking about The Last of Us, so sadly now that's just how I sound now. Now, The Last of Us feels like if he can handle the characters, at least the atmosphere is going to be right. Like, that's the one thing. The desolate looks of just empty Pripyat is like, oh man, yeah, that would probably be perfect for The Last of Us. But I don't know if this man is going to be able to handle the characters and the actors and the writing to be able to do a proper translation. And especially we come back to the fact that it's going to be a fucking translation. It's going to be an adaptation. It's not going to be just another fucking story in The Last of Us because we have to be stuck to Joel and Ellie, which. But either way, at least I know it's going to look good. That's it. So.
Glass half full. I'm gonna be glass half full on this
Oh,
one.
I know you.
I will. I will be the positive one on this one. I hope. I mean, you're right. You're right. The characters are not a focus of Chernobyl. They don't need to be a focus, so that's
They
fine.
don't be. Yeah.
We will see how it goes. The Last of Us, because yes, the characters are going to be far more central and important to that. But I do think that's I think it's almost easier to do that type of stuff than it is sometimes to nail a tone and an atmosphere. Like that's if you get that wrong and you don't know what you're doing with that, you're gonna fuck everything up. And to me, that can be the hard part sometimes. And I think that's already I'm not worried about that. So
I don't know because what I've just realized is that there are some people who their tastes are just fucking weird that I don't understand. I am always just a character first person, so I'm not going to say that I don't care about plot because like Chernobyl is just plot. Like that it's just you can execute anything well enough and I'll probably like it. But like I am a character first person. It's not like I like The Last of Us because it's shit's overgrown or something. Like I don't really care about that. So The Last of Us show, if you nail the characters and it's some, well, no, that's the thing. I don't think there's a shot. Never mind. I'm rolling it back. There's no shot that the show is ever anything I like because it's gonna be like, well, I already have a Joel and Ellie. You're just doing not Joel and Ellie, and if you're doing Joel and Ellie, you are just doing Joel and Ellie. So why aren't you doing something different? It's a catch-22 that they can't win. But Chernobyl, on the other hand, Chernobyl does not have that problem. Chernobyl honestly just goes, we're going to show you some horrifying shit in a plot and you'll be okay with it. So yeah, Chernobyl. Ugh, yes.
yeah, yeah. Chernobyl's fantastic. I think overall I gave it an 4 to 5, 8 out of 10. Great series. I don't think it's my favorite HBO miniseries. I think that still would go to The Night of for me. And probably Watchmen, I guess, is now technically a miniseries because it's not getting another season. So those two shows would be kind of the upper echelon for me, but this would be right behind them.
Honestly, thank God that Watchmen isn't getting something else because Watchmen was just good enough. We're fine. We're fine, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chernobyl is going to be if you're going to watch this, you should really seek out the 4K out of 10.
That's it.
That's the fucking episode. Holy shit. It is 320 raw right now, so I'm going to see if I can get this down to 310. Good enough. End card.
Hey, look at you. You got to the end of the episode. From episode 0 to the day that I finally get lazy and cancel the show, a big thank you to Joey Rawlings for providing the perfect name for the show. Be sure to always give him thanks, either out loud as you're listening to this, or you can just send him a thank you tweet at boogeyman117_. That's boogeyman117, IE instead of Y, double O. Be sure that it's an underscore, not a dash, 117.